Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world. And all day and all night, and everything he sees is just blue, like him inside and outside.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You are listening to the first ever episode of Miss the Bus. Woo! Come on, round of applause on that. All right, so we're going to get right into this shit. We're a new podcast. We are a group of 6 friends. That's right, 6.
Are we?
We are.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Are we?
Is there 6
One,
of
two,
us?
three,
If you
four,
got the
five.
math for me, we are a group of 6 friends.
I didn't know if we were
and
friends.
We are.
Okay.
And we all love pop culture. We love movies and TVs and video games and all that good shit. So basically, each week we are going to come at you with news and topics and reviews and all that good stuff. I'm your host. My name is Tyler. And like I said, there's 5 other people, so we're going to get right into it. Matt, introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Matt. Or should I do Matthew for this?
Matthew.
This is a chance to
100%.
start a new.
I'm going to
a
call
new
you
for me.
I will
though.
call you Matt just to spite you.
Okay, that's Matt. I'm sticking with Matt.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited. Always wanted to do this. Probably gonna be real bad at it, but that's
Oh yeah.
that's the fun. Let's go.
Okay, I'm Bailey.
Okay.
I'm doing real well so far. I think I'm going to be fine at this. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I think we are all going to be loved.
We're
by
going to do big.
everyone.
We're going to do big
Strong
things.
words.
Big, yeah. Big,
Huge.
big,
We're gonna
huge
change
old
the
things.
world.
Change the world.
Revolutionize.
Yes, sir. This is Omar. I'm also very, very excited to do wonderful things. Huge things.
Wonderful.
We're
doing-
things.
We're doing such great things for the world by
We really
sitting
are,
here
yeah.
like a bunch of assholes talking about.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited to do this with these 5 other guys, 2 girls.
Well,
5,
no, there's
4,
It would be-
3
there's
other-
4,
Thank you for specifying.
Fuck it. Fuck
So we
it.
got 4 boys. We got 2 gals.
and then
Oh,
we have
Okay.
the other two with us.
So there's 8.
Right, they're here too.
That would
No,
be
I think-
Angelo and
wait,
Mary.
I want to say that
Confused.
Tyler counted it out right, and then
I
you just
did.
added
I
2
did.
imaginary people
There's
to
6.
it.
There's
No,
I
I
just
think
ima-
There's 6 in total, but we have the 2 extras that are not. They're the producers, like they're
Right.
here. Yeah,
There they are. Those are the producers
Yeah.
right there. It's Angelo and Mary.
Angela and Mary.
hey guys.
Say hey, guys.
Say hey if you want. There they are. All right, so yeah, like we all said, we're all excited to do this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably be bad at it, but like I said, this is something I've always wanted to do. We all love talking about this kind of shit, so
I don't appreciate the
Well,
whole
let's
"we'll
do
be
it.
bad at it" thing.
I will be
fine,
good. We'll be
because
good.
if
You're
we're
just being
bad, then this
realistic,
is it.
exactly.
This was the
We might
first
be a little
and
bad,
last
but it's-
episode of this.
Standards are set very low.
Yeah, exactly. Let them know going into listening to this.
It's gonna be the
What
worst.
to
shit.
expect.
So yeah, for today, basically, we're gonna do some news and stuff that dropped this past week that we want to talk about, and like some honorable mentions here and there. And then we saw last week the movie A Quiet Place, and we're gonna talk about it because that's what we want to do. So y'all just want to go right into this?
Yup.
You want to go right into this?
Right
Jump
into
right
it.
All right. Here's some news. First on the docket, this comes over from IGN. On March 18th, Deadpool and Silicon Valley star T.J. Miller called 911 while riding on an Amtrak train from Washington, D.C. to New York City, claiming
What is wrong with this?
That
guy?
I'm already laughing at this
it's
story.
ridiculous, claiming that a woman had a bomb in her bag. These reports were false. According to TMZ, Miller was apprehended by FBI agents on Monday at LaGuardia Airport for intentionally conveying to law enforcement false information about an explosive device on a train traveling to Connecticut. The comedian was coming back to the U.S. after doing some shows in Canada. The article goes on to say, from an FBI document, it was reported that Miller was intoxicated, consuming 2 glasses of wine, 2 double scotch and sodas. The woman he was accusing said Miller was loud and belligerent and even made a comment about her hair. And
Can I just say,
it's fucking ridiculous.
what happened to this dude?
The-
He was
it's-
so much
we
fun.
are in the downfall of TJ Miller.
Unfortunately, it's like we had Silicon Valley. He was great. And so much other
Yep.
stuff. He went on to the Emoji Movie. Whatever.
He went on to it.
we supported
that was
him.
the beginning of the downfall.
We didn't see it.
It's
but
very
we-
bizarre.
and then now it's this.
I mean, yeah, what all y'all think about this? It's just ridiculous.
Dude, I think this dude is clearly kind of self-destructive. I don't understand what he was like at his height. And that was
I
like his
think
peak
he
basically
got big
now.
really fast.
He did, and I guess that kind of is what happens when you
It,
don't know
like,
how
got
to handle
to
the
him.
fame of it. But I mean, now it's like he's just gonna fall from
The
here.
thing is, though, maybe he's trying to do like I mean, he's in the headlines. He's getting his name out there.
It's one
in
of those
the worst
things-
possible way.
It's such
You
a
think he's like a
it's such
genius?
a super way to do
No,
that.
I'm not
though.
saying he's a
I mean, in
genius
today's
per
day and
se.
age, that's like the worst thing you could
Right.
possibly do is
Exactly.
fake a fucking bomb threat.
What if he
Right.
thought?
He didn't.
genuinely
God.
thought
He
that
didn't,
this
unless
woman
he
had a
was
bomb,
on
and
some
he thought
sort
he
of
was
drugs.
saving everyone on that train, and then he was like, "And fuck this woman's hair."
Wow.
Like,
Look at this guy get it all.
I don't know. it's weird. I don't know. At the end of the day, he's a comedian. He probably was fucking high or drunk and probably just thought it was funny. But you obviously can't do shit like that today. I mean, like, I don't know.
Fuck you, TJ.
It's weird.
like, no,
I still love the dude. I think he's hilarious. I hope this doesn't completely fuck him. I mean, he got released from jail on a $100,000 bond. I saw another article that was saying he could face up to 5 years if like he's prosecuted in a certain way.
Well,
so
yeah, because that's like,
It's just gonna depend how
Yeah,
people
so
want to go about
hopefully
this,
that-
basically.
doesn't happen.
I mean, if he's smart, it's just he'll let it die down and
Yeah,
go
just
into
kinda-
hiding.
yeah, get out
like
the
every
limelight
other
for a little bit.
person that's like dealing
Yeah.
with stuff like this.
Do more CG characters like in Ready Player One.
Hey, he
I
was
rock.
People,
funny.
people can
Just
try to
let- I
pretend like
like
they don't know
just
who he
lend your
is.
voice.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 on the docket. This comes also from IGN. After weeks of impressive returns at the box office, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle has surpassed Spider-Man and become Sony Pictures' highest-earning domestic release. It made $403.714 million at the box office, and it officially unseated Spider-Man.
Fuck
I'm
that.
guessing that's the first
Fuck
Spider-Man,
that.
which made 403.706. So it beat it not by too much, but I don't know. This is a pleasant surprise. I doubted this movie so much.
Yeah.
I'll go on record saying I thought it looked fucking stupid, and everyone was like, "No, we gotta all go see it."
Well, I feel like anyone who liked the original saw this and was like, "This is a
It's
horrible
it's
idea."
heresy.
It looks like
Yeah.
a completely
It was-
different
But
kind of movie.
it was
and I
so
think-
much fun.
It's
Yeah, it was
funny.
just
I mean,
enjoyable.
I thought it was one of the funniest movies last year. Like The
Right.
Rock, like everybody's so funny in it. It's
Right.
it's just a dumb
The
stupid
Rock
movie.
is literally The Rock in every movie
Wow.
he's in. I'm saying he plays the same type of character in
but
every
it
Hard-hitting.
was like
movie.
different though.
Well,
'cause he
actually,
was, like, a
actually, in this
nerd.
movie, his character, right? Exactly. He
Yeah.
was like
It was funny.
shy,
It was different,
scared,
but
and everything.
it's still, I don't know.
It was cool. I don't know.
It's
I
just
liked
like, I
it.
don't think I'm ever gonna dislike anything. that
Right,
The Rock
yeah,
is
I mean,
in.
it's always just, like,
I will
fun.
always. He's got
Yeah.
that smile that you're just like, you
That's-
know what?
yeah.
You sucked me.
He just
in.
doesn't
Whoa,
take
whoa.
anything
He sucked me in.
seriously, and
Jesus.
it's probably just like people probably call him in and are like, "Rock, will you do this?" And he's like, "I'll do it." Like,
And that's smart. I mean,
Well, yeah.
look how
I
many
mean,
movies he's put out in
Right.
the past like
Yeah.
2 years.
I was gonna say he's one of those actors basically where he just makes movies and you get people to go see him,
Mhm.
even if they don't look that good. Although Jumanji ended up being, yeah, like you said, very.
I feel like
pleasant
by the end of
surprise.
my lifetime, he'll have been in more movies than movies I've ever even seen.
Right, it'd be too hard to keep up with everything.
And then possibly the president. So
Oh,
Very
I
true.
would vote
he's a
for
busy
him, honestly.
man. Busy man.
Kanye and Dwayne Johnson.
Yep. That'd
Oh
be
my God!
interesting.
Do you think
Yeah.
Kanye would be his vice president?
You think
No,
Kanye
I'm-
would be somebody's vice president?
No, you're
No,
I
right.
think
not
yeah.
at all.
It'd be a fight to the
It'd be
finish.
his wife or something.
He'd be the
Jesus.
first lady. Oh, I think
Oh my
Kanye.
No,
Jesus.
like his wife would be the first
Kanye
lady,
was
but
the first lady of the
no,
United
she'd
States.
be the
Wow.
first lady, but she'd also be,
Yeah.
vice president.
VP.
All right, so yeah, that's a fun little story. Number 3, this is something that I
Was it? Because you seem. You're like,
yeah,
"That was a
Jumanji's
fun
yeah,
story."
Jumanji was a fun movie. It's
Mhm.
it's. I mean, I like Spider-Man more than Jumanji.
Hell
I'll
yeah.
give you that, Omar.
I like
it
that,
is.
thank you.
It is. All right, so this next one's kind of interesting. Jake Gyllenhaal has shot down a rumor that he will be replacing Ben Affleck as the Caped Crusader during an interview with China News Asia. That almost sounds made up, but I'm guessing that's. I don't know. Gyllenhaal was asked point blank if there was any truth to last year's report that he was the Batman director Matt Reeves' first pick to take over. This is the funny part. This is a quote from him. "Wow, that's a very difficult question," said Gyllenhaal. "The answer to that question is no."
This is such bullshit. This is just dodging
Did
it.
you
to
really
dodge
think
it.
so?
Yes.
Oh, he
You
says
really
no.
think so?
I do. I completely think because we're very divided on this, right? But some of us think the DCU should just end. Some of us think it should keep going.
I don't even know at this point what I think.
Clearly, Warner Brothers does not want it to end. They're going to keep going, but we know Ben Affleck's out, so somebody's got to
Is
go.
that like a for sure thing though?
that he's
Oh,
out, that he
Yeah.
wants out.
Yeah.
Okay, that he wants out
See, but-
is one thing, but is he?
I think there's
He's
been,
showing up to like his kids' birthday parties and stuff like that as Batman still.
Right.
He's
The
doing
thing
he's doing all that
is-
still.
he's just milking it though.
Is he?
Yes.
I feel like there's no way he's going to continue to do movies as
Look
Batman
at it.
just because he like is obviously not putting forth any effort.
He's
into
not
it
putting forth
anymore.
effort. He's also a lot older than a lot of the people doing these movies.
Right.
And also, it's just, I mean, they haven't gotten like the best reviews, and he wants to be making good movies.
right.
It's I think it's the director
He-
side and
that's
it
the
probably
thing.
sees it and is like
He
fuck
wants
this.
out. He just doesn't want
What
to be
would
in
they
it
do
anymore.
though? I mean, would they? I don't know, like restart?
People, there's
Or-
all these theories. People
Like,
think
reboot
people
it?
think either
Yeah.
just like
Flashpoint.
stop what they're doing right now, but keep some of the cast. Like make like you can make another Wonder Woman movie and like
Right.
that movie could
Exact-
still
yeah.
be a part of the canon
Yeah.
because
I
it's
mean-
not like anyone else is in it besides her.
Exactly.
So
I
it's
mean,
like-
I've heard like a lot of things about maybe they'd restart the whole universe through
I mean,
Flashpoint.
they-
which
that's
I
that's
don't
what
know.
they should do.
But
But
see, yeah,
and
but they're
that
probably not.
that thing is more of like the comic book people saying that's what they should
Right.
do
They
because
should
it
do
makes
it.
sense and it could work. But I
is
don't
it,
think
is it accessible to everyone?
it's not, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like average moviegoers are gonna be like, "What the fuck is going
Exactly,
on? This
right,
makes no sense to
right.
me." Why is Jake Gyllenhaal Batman?
I don't know. It's one of
They're
those.
just-
It's one of
gonna
those
be too
things.
confusing.
Like I really enjoy all these movies aside from Suicide Squad. I think they're fun. I think the characters have good chemistry. But it's like all these news stories you see that come out before and after and during.
Oh, for sure. It ruins it.
kills like the mood of everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
the movies, I'm sorry, you can argue that they're bad, but they're not like that bad. Like they're better than so many other.
I think
like,
we all can agree though that it is heartbreaking that it's not working
Yeah.
out with Ben Affleck.
It
I
is.
think
Yeah.
we all very were.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
very
the
much
he's
were
the person that I
excited.
want to be Batman.
Are you
I
Probably
mean,
like
look
the
at his
most.
chin.
When they
It's
Oh,
perfect.
my.
It's perfect for the mask.
look at his.
I'm just saying. You look at it and you're like, man, what a good chin for Batman.
That's my Batman.
So-
The
I mean,
first
yeah,
time
he
they
looks-
showed
he looks just like
the
him.
first time they showed him in the suit next to the Batmobile,
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
black and
fuck
white
yeah.
picture, I was like, I'm
Yeah.
so on
It's my
board
fucking
with it.
phone background.
Yeah, that's cool.
okay, well. But no, I mean, it's disappointing that they're saying Jake Gyllenhaal is saying no. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just him saying that to like get attention off of it. But at the same time, I think about it sometimes and I'm like, no, I
Well, I
can't
think-
see Jake as
Here's the
Batman.
thing. What's he gonna say? He's gonna say yes. He can't say yes. None of it's confirmed.
And he
I-
can't,
I-
and
the
he
only other
can't
answer
be
is
like,
no.
oh, I don't know.
I think it's
'cause-
weird how long it's taking to even like get all this out. Like Comic Con's in
seriously.
what, like a couple months?
Mhm.
They
And
have
maybe-
to say something.
And maybe that's when we'll actually find out for sure. But I just think they don't know yet, or they're just not ready to say
What
it.
if
so.
at Comic Con Jake just comes out on stage
He's
in the
not.
suit?
He's-
How
he's
cool
not.
would that be, though?
They wouldn't spoil that.
No, I know, but it would be freaking cool. It'd get some butts in the seats.
What?
Yeah,
Get my butt in the seat.
Okay.
There you go.
Well.
but yeah, that's a not fun story because we all love Ben Affleck, and I don't know. It's heartbreaking to see the DCEU like that, but it is what it is. Moving on. Thoughts on all the live action Disney movies coming into development? So I think Bailey put this on
I
here.
did because I didn't realize how many.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Like they're talking about, which I know everyone knows about Mulan.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
We can kind of combine. Oh, that's on. Never mind. It's a sub thing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think Mulan's the one that's been talked about the most in media lately because they've been doing all the
Well, they're-
casting for
and
it.
they're,
That
and they're
and
not making it a
Aladdin, I think,
musical.
right?
Well, they're doing Aladdin. It's not a musical anymore.
Yeah, that's what I
Mulan.
meant.
Thank God.
No, not thank God, because the music
Why?
in Mulan, I don't
Well,
know. I loved Mulan so much when
I think the music is
honestly,
perfect in
My
that movie.
mom, shout out to my mom Nora, she loves Mulan.
We doing
That's
that?
great.
I just wanted to shout her out real quick.
The thing
but
is,
she
all-
loves Mulan.
Like all
and the
those Disney
music.
movies, the music is like great, and it's so hard to take it out. And that's what was cool with like Beauty and the Beast. Like they added some stuff in there, but all
But
the
they
mu-
kept a lot of the
all,
original
like a lot of people
music.
complain that it was the same movie, but it's like who the fuck cares?
But
The
it's
music's
supposed to be.
music's awesome. Like why are you gonna complain about that?
The thing is,
and they
I-
added stuff to the plot that was great.
there's just so many because I think I saw something about them doing a live action Ariel too.
Yeah, they are doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right, which
Yeah.
it's just like all these Disney movies I love so much, and I just don't think, especially like Jungle Book, lucked out. So good. I loved
Yeah.
live action Jungle
It was
Book, and they're
good.
making a second one
Right.
because it did so well. Aladdin, see that
Guy Ritchie.
I'm not sure how I feel about Guy Ritchie doing it.
Well, because he has such a style. It's cool. I love that Will Smith is gonna be Genie.
Yeah. I do
That's,
too.
I hope this is like his comeback because like not that he's not like not that he's not relevant, but like a lot of the stuff he comes out with
It's been
isn't like
stinkers.
it's not that great.
What
like,
was the last thing that he was in?
Bright,
Bri-
Jinx.
Jesus.
which wasn't like the worst movie, but
Well,
it's
I
not.
forgot I
that
can't
jinx.
jinx.
I
It's
don't
the-
think you should jinx this on.
It's like a habit for me to say it. I'm sorry.
To everyone listening, this friend group drinks is a lot, and it's ridiculous.
We passed a new rule last night, didn't we?
Oh,
What's
we
the new
did.
rule?
Okay, so the new rule is if two people say something at the same time. So if you and Matt,
Right.
I mean Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler and Matt said bright at the same time, I could jinx you, and both of you have to shut up until I say.
Oh, so there's a third
You can have a
party.
third-
there's
third
a
party
third
jinx.
party now.
That's pretty
So,
good.
The thing is that won't really work while we're talking about
Nope.
things on here,
Yeah, just-
unless I just jinx everyone, and
could
then
be a
I am
rule
the
of
only
thumb
one
not
who
to
can
do it.
talk. I'm just saying though, like if all three of you said something, I jinx, I talk for the rest of the podcast.
You think we'll keep jinxing each other for like the next like 30
Do
years?
you think
and
Will
then they'll,
Smith will keep jinxing us?
Yeah. And, and then they'll make a movie about us, like the Tag movie.
Yeah, but just
Wow.
with
But
jinx.
it with Jinx.
That'd be pretty good too.
That'd be cool.
True story. Yeah.
I'm liking that. But yeah, I want Will Smith's comeback to be
Yeah.
as Genie. I think that would be amazing. But
It'll probably be
I don't know.
good.
I'm just like iffy about all these live action movies.
I think Winnie the Pooh's gonna be great, or Christopher Robin, I should say.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be fucking great.
Yeah, the trailer looked good.
I'll
They're
go on
also-
record right now. It'll be
There it
fucking
is,
great.
on record.
They're also making a
you
new
in.
Peter Pan movie, right? Which I mean, there's
They're
Why'd you say it like that?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Making a new Peter Pan movie.
They got the Peter. They
Fuck you.
they have so many live action Peter Pan movies at
I
this
know.
point though, which
I've actually liked all of them though.
I
don't know.
have too.
Like
The-
from Hook to Pan. or
Well,
whatever.
Hook is a classic.
Hook's
Yeah.
great, and then they had that the one with the kid with the curly blonde hair. Do y'all know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
it's the Peter Pan one.
Yeah,
Is it called Peter Pan?
It might be called Peter Pan, but
yeah.
Okay, that's enough.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
I'm
stuff.
just saying I love that movie.
There's a lot
That's
of
enough about that
There's
kid.
a lot of stuff in the works. Mulan, it's weird because it's not a musical. Christopher Robin looks good. I don't know. They're also doing the Pinocchio, Tim Burton, which could be Danny DeVito's going to be in it.
Oh, I
I don't know,
love
could
it
be,
already.
It could be cool.
Him and his troll feet.
All right. Those trophy. This next one, Toy Story 4, got a release date, official, June 21st, 2019. But do we need this movie?
You know, I saw the "Do we need this" on here, and I thought it meant like, "Do we need to talk about this?"
No, I think
now
we
it
should
makes
talk
sense.
about it.
No, for sure, because I mean, that's like such a people are so divided on that. I mean, the thing with Toy Story is, I feel like they're gonna make Toy Story movies for as long as they can, but they're gonna spread them out far enough to where it's always gonna be okay.
It can, because 3 worked so well because the time had passed, so Andy was
Yeah.
older and they could actually make a good plot point out of it. And I was thinking about the other day, when did Toy Story 3 come out? Like 2011?
Yeah, I mean, it was a while
So it's
ago.
been
now.
a really long time. They could do something else with Andy, but
Right.
They're saying it's gonna be like they're looking for Bo Peep because she wasn't in the third
Yeah.
one, and that's what it's gonna be more about.
Well, and
But
they even
I'm sure they
said-
could work in other shit too.
They said basically the story for this movie is so perfect that if they this could
For
all just be
4?
marketing. Yeah,
Really?
I can't remember who was saying this, but they basically said like if we didn't have a story like this that was worth telling, we wouldn't come back and do it.
right.
So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But I really do think Toy Stories makes them so much
Look,
money.
I'm
they're
not
gonna
gonna-
they're gonna always.
I'm
make
not
Toy
gonna ever
Story
doubt
movies.
Pixar. I like pretty much everything they've ever done except
Yep.
for Cars 2.
Yeah.
So. And I can complain about not needing Toy Story 4, but I know the fucking week it's coming out. I'm gonna be excited.
Dude,
I
we're
mean,
gonna be
like-
so hyped.
No, I
To
think
go
we'll all
see
be
it,
so
so-
excited.
Yeah, and like you said, if it's like spaced out as it is,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it should be fine as long as it's not like every 2 or 3
Yeah,
years.
what's the thing?
yeah.
We don't need Toy Story movies every 2 or 3
Exactly.
years. But if we get
Right.
one every like 8 years,
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine like when we have kids and it's
Right.
like going to see a new
It'd be
toys?
nice.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think
It's really cool how they've done it. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been coming
Nah,
out
I mean,
for like
yeah, I'm
it's
all
one of those
for
things
it.
you just don't want to like oversaturate. But if they
20
keep
years of
going
Toy
like this-
Story. Like,
Yeah.
that's just nuts. It's cool.
it is.
All right, next thing on here, we got some trailers this week. We got a new Solo, a Star Wars story trailer, and an Incredibles 2 trailer. What do y'all think about those bad boys?
Dude.
Honestly,
Absolutely.
I love both of them. I know
Me
Matt
too.
is not a huge fan of the man who's playing young
Nobody
Han Solo.
is.
The thing is, I don't really have a problem with
I don't-
him.
I don't either.
I think everyone's going to be pleasantly surprised, but
I want to be
It's
pleasantly
not
surprised.
because listen, you have to get out of your mind. He's not going to sound like Harrison Ford. He's not
Right.
going to look like Harrison Ford.
Right.
We're all going.
But that's
through-
my whole thing. We don't.
Yeah, I
need
know,
it.
and that's
We
the
don't
problem.
need it
That is
then.
the problem. It's oversaturation.
no, I
you don't.
completely, I understand.
You don't need the
completely.
movie, but if they're gonna give it to us, like just go into it without the mindset
That's
that
the
like,
thing.
oh, he doesn't fucking suck. Like it might be all right. It might be fun.
I think that's
Right.
the thing, though. I'm only looking at this movie as like a fun, like heist movie. I'm not looking at it as like
And
this
Woody Harrelson.
amazing.
That's the thing. They've stacked the cast so much now.
To-
Aside from
it's
him,
a-
that-
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Donald Glover,
I'm
I
so-
think is going to be perfect as Lando too. So
And because that's the thing too, Lando looks. I mean, he looks great as Lando. But like when he talks in the trailer, he doesn't sound like him at all. And no
No.
one's complaining about that because it's Donald Glover and everybody
Right.
loves Donald
Right.
Glover. But it's not the character Han Solo.
That's the thing.
Right.
He's just
But
so
it's the
iconic.
same thing.
so
Like
it's-
no one looks like
I
that.
think a lot of this
Like,
movie too, it's going to be so great visually.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
like-
it's Ron Howard's a good director.
So-
Can they get a new logo though?
Oh,
They need to get rid of that.
so bad.
Everyone's making fun of that.
I mean,
too.
the logo.
Yeah.
I could have made that logo.
Yeah, it looks so
in
good.
paint. I could
Fucking
have just fucking like made a few frames. And
PowerPoint.
just
It's
go,
like the
yeah.
day of the trailer dropping. They were
Well-
like, "Shit, we didn't make a logo."
I thought the bad,
It's too yellow.
The bad part about the logo, not the logo itself, but the way it like shows
It
up in the
flips.
trailer. It's like when you're in fucking like 7th grade and you have to make a PowerPoint like
Yes.
with,
Yeah.
with goofy transitions.
That's
It
what
looks like that.
They
Yeah.
look like they used a PowerPoint transition. I don't get why they're doing that.
It's
Because
weird.
when they showed the first, was it during the Super Bowl? They showed the first ever trailer.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, that looks a little ridiculous, but they're gonna change it, and they still could. But I mean, now it's like, why?
Both trailers
why
though,
does it still look like this?
Fun trailers. All the
Oh,
sound,
they do.
all the sound cues with the knobs and stuff.
Oh,
like,
so
I mean, I
perfect.
think the
It's
new
cool.
trailer makes it look awesome.
It's cool.
I'm so on the fence about this movie.
And then
So,
Incredibles
we'll see.
2. I know.
I'll be surprised.
Omar probably has a lot to say about that. 'Cause
I mean-
he's the biggest Incredibles fan here, probably.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very, very excited for
Bailey
it.
made a face at me. She's a big fan. We're all big fans of
It's,
Incredibles. I mean, same thing.
Incredibles
Pixar.
is my favorite Pixar movie.
Dude, same.
Really?
100%.
It is.
Wow.
See, I love The Incredibles, but I haven't seen it
Wow.
in so long,
Dude,
and I
it's
think
so good.
It's
I mean, I'm
been
so
my
excited
favorite one
for it,
since I
but
was little.
I'm very, very
Favorite
excited. And
one.
I don't know if you guys know. I think it's the same day that they're dropping the game, the Lego game too, which we haven't seen a trailer for yet. So I kind of want that.
Yeah.
But because that's gonna be based off of the first and second movie.
Yeah.
And then apparently like there's other modes I think within the game. But yeah, no, I mean I'm very, very excited for it. The second trailer looks fucking awesome. So
Yeah.
all for it.
One last thing, just gonna kind of fit it in. God of War reviews are in. It looks great. And also, there's a new Bioshock in development. Apparently, Matt, you could probably talk about that for like a minute. If
Yeah,
you
I mean, I'm
want
not going to go like too into detail. It's just something I've been like craving. I think we all have been craving Bioshock for so long.
Bioshock's probably like in my top 5 games.
They've kind of hinted at, just real quick, they've kind of like hinted at it for the past few years that there will be more Bioshock games. But Kotaku had a Jesus. Kotaku had like a whole thing basically where they're saying that, I mean, there is something in development. It's called Project. Fuck, where is it?
X.
Project Parkside. Codenamed Parkside.
Yeah, it's it.
I don't know. Stuff like this just gets me so excited.
Yeah,
I want
mean,
more
it's
Bioshock.
cool because that studio that did the first 2 Bioshocks closed, or the 1 and then Infinite closed, and then
Oh yeah,
So
because
we'll
2 was
see.
different people.
it was
That's
yeah,
right.
it was just like 2K and
Yeah, I mean,
else.
I'm playing through Prey right now, and I'm getting like sort of my Bioshock fill.
Yeah,
but
it is.
I want a new one so bad.
And there's a lot of new suits for the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Hell
that
yeah.
looks
Oh,
fucking
they look
awesome.
so
And the Iron
good.
Spider, that's so
Dude,
cool.
I'm so
Infinity
glad
War.
they
It looks
confirmed
so
that.
good.
I know.
Yeah, lots of cool shit. Lots of cool
Omar
shit.
literally said he only bought a PS4 for that
Yeah.
game.
No, I mean, I 100% did.
And dude, it's for good reason. Insomniac,
Yeah, and I'm glad it
is. It looks
Insomniac
so
makes
good.
perfect.
They are
polished
the
games.
perfect
Yeah,
studio to be doing
yeah.
this.
They are.
So very excited about that.
All right, so now the next part of the show, we're gonna get into some honorable mentions, and this is usually gonna be just stuff either we're watching or just playing or whatever, just stuff we're doing throughout the week that we just kind of want to mention. That's fucking awesome. So
That's always where I finished with like my report cards was honorable mention. You know, like not honor
Wow.
roll, but like right under it. Like you're sort of good.
like some.
Did y'all have
like
that?
some C's?
Yeah, like a few C's in there. No, actually, I think honorable mention was like B's and A's.
Alpha and Beta.
Yeah.
That's how it was at my school.
Mhm.
I think I had that for a little while.
All right, so Matt, what you got?
Dude, okay, so most of I'm not gonna get into spoilers for this. Unfortunately, there are people in here that haven't seen Breaking Bad.
It's a sin.
That is so sad to me. Anyway, I rewatched Breaking Bad the past few months. I think it was the second time watching it all the way through. So that's what I've been spending my time doing. And I have to say, I respect this. I mean, I always loved Breaking Bad, but I think I've seen so much stuff since then. And Breaking Bad is always one of those shows that's talked about so much that I kind of forgot how good it was. I was kind of like, man, just everybody loves Breaking Bad. But there are other shows that I think are like so much better. But watching it through and just seeing everything again and just certain things hitting me the way they did, I mean, I just think no matter what comes out, and Breaking Bad is so popular, but I just still think it's always just one of those like top 3 like drama TV shows. It's just so fucking good.
100%. It's one of those things too. Like once you finish it, you're kind of just like, what the fuck do I do now?
Oh, I-
like what do I watch now? Because it's just like you get such like a high from it. Like,
Oh, you do.
don't
It's just
know.
some of the best character development like I've ever seen. It
Oh,
makes,
yeah.
I mean, everybody's on different, stances about like, do you like Walt? Do you hate Walt? It's like whatever. But I think everybody can agree he's one of the most interesting characters
interesting.
in a TV show,
That's
just
unanimous.
straight up ever.
Yeah.
And I think also having watched what we've seen of Better Call Saul now, it just adds so much more
It
to
does.
Saul Goodman's character. It's just like, I don't know. You feel so much worse for him when everything in Breaking Bad kind of
It's
unfolds.
shocking how well those two shows go together.
They really
Because
do.
normally when you make prequel sequel shows, it's kind of just like what the fuck ever. But
Well, when they
it-
announced
it
Better Call
works.
Saul, we were all like, do we really need this? Do we want this?
And
But-
yeah, and I would definitely
Well,
say
Bob
Yeah, it's been
Odenkirk
great.
also
He's
just in
great.
general makes it to where you actually like. I didn't care about Better Call Saul. at
star of the
first.
Post.
Oh, good.
That's what he's known for.
but
he's
And
also in
Incredibles.
it actually
Yep.
made me just
Oh,
like
yeah.
care about it,
Yeah.
like to even try it out. And I mean, it ended up like exceeding expectations.
Oh,
so.
for sure.
Yeah.
I was also going to mention Silicon Valley season 5, which I'm loving so far, but I haven't seen the newest episode, so I feel
I
kind of
have.
like
I've only seen the
can't do
first
that.
one, but it was funny.
And I'll tell
Oh,
you,
yeah.
the second one, funny.
Well, the second one's
That's
funny, too.
great.
Wait,
That,
you seen
warms,
the third one?
that
Funny.
warms my heart because this pertains
That's
to
what I
whole
said.
TJ Miller
Oh wait,
stuff
there's a
too.
third one.
What's it? Yeah.
Wait,
oh,
have
Bailey.
you seen a third one?
Do you
Oh wait,
understand?
I have.
TV shows.
Oh,
Weekly, every Sunday.
whoa.
Okay,
no,
the funny thing
actually,
is,
I have seen
we
the third
tried to record this podcast a week ago, and we fucked it up bad.
Yep, so we're
just to
redoing it.
Kind of throw that out there. But we had the same conversation last week about episode 2, and Bailey was like, there's a second episode? It's like, it does come out every
So
Sunday.
the same
That's-
thing happened this
one.
week.
Same thing.
There's
You're
a
right.
third?
Anyway, so I
total
didn't.
difference though. I actually have seen the third episode, and it is really funny. Actually,
It's
so.
hilarious, and I think a lot of us, to go back to the whole TJ Miller thing, we thought with him leaving, it wasn't going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
as good anymore.
funny.
But it's very funny, and I like what they're doing with the whole how he left and kind of
Yeah.
pretending that he's. Now I won't get into it because again, not
It's
everybody's
great.
seen
It
It's
warms
great.
my heart.
And then real quick, even though I beat this a few weeks ago now, Shadow of the Colossus, I recommend this to everyone. It's so good.
I'll probably
It's a
buy
game-
it soon.
It's a game I played when I was a kid, the PS2 one, and it's very like the controls sucked, the like frame rate was all over the place. It just kind of it annoyed you, but it was still great. It was like ahead
The
of its time.
controls are kind of just weird.
But basically, the remake they fixed the controls. You can actually
Well, I that's what I meant. Like
Yeah.
for the first one, the controls are
Right.
kind of like
and
dated.
they're
but-
like purists that because you can even switch the controls back to the old ones,
Fuck
and there are
that.
people that do that. Those sickos. But it's really cool. I love when they're doing with games now where they're just straight up remaking them. It's
Well,
not a
that's- yeah,
remaster.
it's the
it's like
same-
they're
yeah.
taking these games that are like, there are people now that would never play these games because they're so old.
Yeah.
And they're basically remaking them. They're doing such a good job with it.
That's probably what they need to do with like Metal Gear Solid, because those games I like those games
Yeah.
are awesome, but they're not accessible in any sort of way.
That's
Like
the thing.
I understand when people say they're too hard to play. Same thing like what they did with Crash Bandicoot. Like those first couple games are like the first one for sure. It's just very rough and it's very like the controls are just. I don't know. It's hard to get used to unless you played it like a ton as a kid. But the remakes, like they tweak it and they make it a little bit easier, and like just the way the jumps work, it just works better.
I think Baymax just went.
Yeah, we have a stuffed Baymax.
It is. I've seen Matt play some of Shadow of the Colossus, and it's like visually
It's
so.
what's
good.
crazy
I
is
mean,
this
it's
is one of
awesome.
the best looking PS4 games I've ever played, and to think that this is like a remake of an old game, it's just so cool.
Yeah. Love
But
remakes.
I recommend it to everybody. It's really short. I mean, you could play. There's not a lot of extra stuff
There's
to do in
something so comforting about playing these remakes because it's like it's something you're already familiar with, but you know.
it. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I got.
All right, Omar, what you got?
I didn't really have a lot of time this week to watch or play much, but New Girl season 6 dropped on Netflix. I was gonna start that, but for some reason, and I have no idea why, I started The Office UK, which I did. I started about like 2 years ago, maybe. Watched the first season, and that was about it.
What do you think?
I'm halfway through season 2, and the sense of humor, man. It's not.
That's what everyone says.
Okay, so the American version, obviously, like there's multiple sense of humors. There's
Right.
multiple characters you could relate
Lot
to.
of characters.
Exactly. The UK one, there's like 3 or 4 main characters. Everybody else you don't really care about.
Right.
And sense of humor is just kind of
It's just British.
I guess
really-
so. I mean,
it's, like,
yeah,
really
yeah.
dry.
It's different.
I
from
wouldn't
all, yeah.
right. I wouldn't say it's horrible. Like I mean, if you guys have never seen it, whatever, try it out.
Yeah.
But
I think I watched the first episode.
I haven't even
actually.
yeah, and I
tried.
mean, I told you the other day, I feel weird when I'm watching it. I don't know.
It makes you
And I
feel
just keep
things.
watching.
I think it's
it.
because also like we love the American version so much, and it's like this almost feels wrong watching like
yeah,
something
it's like a
else.
cheat.
Well, that's the
yeah,
thing.
it feels wrong.
I watched the UK one before the American one. Like I saw the whole first season, and once it's not that I hated it. I for sure can't say I liked it. It just I don't know. It's weird, but that's really about it. That's all I've been watching this week.
I want to say I do feel obligated to just watch the UK one.
You
because
should
of how
just
much
check
I
it
love
out.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
mean
how
it's
much I love the
short,
US one.
so you can
Yeah.
easily.
Right? Yeah, it's very easy to watch. So
I'll do it at some point.
yeah, but that's about it.
It's on
That's all.
Netflix
Ricky
too, right?
Gervais.
It is.
The
Yeah,
UK one?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, I got some mentions. I saw 2 movies this week. I saw Blockers,
You mean cock blocker?
whatever you
Oh.
want to call it. There's a fucking chicken in the logo, but
It's
I guess
it's not a chicken.
It throws me
it's
so-
a rooster.
yeah, whatever. Rooster, chicken.
It throws me
cock.
off so much when it's. I mean, I know it's called blockers. It's just.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's I don't know.
I saw Blockers and I saw Isle of Dogs. For Blockers, I'll say surprisingly pretty funny. I thought the trailer was supposed to be
Oh, it's
fucking
been getting
it's
great
weird
reviews.
because
I thought,
basically,
I thought the trailers were fucking stupid, and like I would say some of like the humor with the kids kind of like falls flat for me at least. Like some people might find it funny, but like the 3 parents in the movie, John Cena, Leslie Mann, and Ike Barinholtz, I think his name is.
I don't know how to pronounce his
Ike
last
Barinholtz.
name.
All really, really funny. So a really enjoyable movie.
it's funny because when Game Night came out, everybody was like, "This is probably gonna be the funniest movie of the year." Or just
What,
like,
Game Night?
Yeah, because like basically like those comedies don't normally get reviewed that well.
They don't. Yeah.
But it's just crazy. Like here we are, like a month and a half later, and there's already a movie like this.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
Cockblock. I would recommend
Would you
it.
say, because we saw Game Night, would you say it's funnier than Game Night?
It's just different. Like Game
A
Night's
different type of humor?
Yeah, because Game Night's like a whole like both movies are just premises.
Mhm.
2 completely different premises. Like
Yeah.
one is like they're playing this game and it goes terribly fucking wrong and like all this crazy like shady like shit is going on. But with Cockblock it's just like these 3 parents just being fucking idiots and like
Yeah.
overprotective of their kids. So it's like you can't compare the 2, but like I'd probably say Game Night was better.
Well, Jason Bateman.
Right.
It's hard to
But
not
but
think anything he does
Blockers
is
was
funny.
like very like it has its really funny moment, like really funny moments.
Right.
So I was pleasantly surprised. And Isle of Dogs also very good. I actually watched all the Wes Anderson movies this past couple weeks. The only one I haven't seen is Grand Budapest Hotel, which people say is like the
Oh.
best.
I've never seen
Poster
that.
of it in my room.
It's
That's-
funny because that's like the only one
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen.
the only one I haven't seen. But Isle of Dogs also really good. And it was I don't know if it's better than because it's the same style of Fantastic Mr. Fox where it's like stop motion animation. I don't know if it's necessarily better than Fantastic Mr. Fox, but like artistically and like visually and like
Yeah.
the animation's way better. Like it is really awesome, and I really enjoyed it.
I love Wes Anderson's style in general. Like it's between like him and Quentin Tarantino for like my favorite.
It's like childish humor, but in like it delivered in like an adult way.
exactly. Well, that's
So
how
it's
Fantastic Mr. Fox is
Right.
too.
Yeah. But yeah, really good. I'd recommend go seeing it. I hope maybe we can all see it and like eventually talk about it because y'all would also really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna see it this week.
So Bailey, what you got?
Oh, so I actually
It's so funny.
everything. No, I'm kidding. I actually signed up for this like online course of like history of comics.
What do you mean course?
It's literally like it's a 6-week course, but you can it's like
Dang.
self-paced, so you can take it literally whenever you want.
But what do you do?
It just teaches you.
It's just knowledge.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
well, you take like it's not really tests because like you don't get like graded on anything, but
Right.
it's pretty much just explaining like how the rise of comics happened, and at the end of it, you get a certificate signed by Stan Lee.
Really?
Oh,
Yes,
whoa,
and that's
that's
literally
awesome.
the
Okay,
only
that's
reason
dope.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pay the $50
Is it-
extra dollars for
Oh,
this.
that's what I was gonna ask. How much
Because
does
you
it
can do it
cost?
for
That's not
free.
too bad.
You can do it for free, but you have to pay for the certificate, and it's like obviously.
dope.
So it just tells
I-
you like the basic like origins and like.
Well, it goes through like I think 6 different
Arrows or whatever.
yeah of like what you are gonna learn pretty much, but
Interesting.
it's
That's
like
dope.
through what college is it? I think Indiana.
What's the website? This is like. On?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'd
throw
have-
it out
That
to
sounds pretty
people.
cool though.
Yeah.
I'd probably do it.
Oh no, it's like super cool. And
Because that's the thing. Go on record. Like I see all these comic book movies we all do, but I've only read like a handful of just like big comics. So I mean, a lot of like knowledge that I have is just me sitting on like fucking comic wikis and stuff and just like reading shit.
Right.
But I would love to do that.
I unfortunately don't have my laptop, so I can't pull up the website.
I'm
but
sorry, I'm
no,
using it.
It's totally okay. But I'm pretty sure if you just Google history of
Yeah.
comics and the rise of superheroes,
I'll find it.
It's history of comics and the rise of superheroes course, Indiana. Just type in all those keywords, Stan Lee. But I don't know. I just saw the whole Stan Lee thing, and I was like, I want that. I want that hanging in my room.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean,
fucking,
that
that's
sounds-
really fucking cool.
So
Yeah.
bad. But I'm like super excited for it because I feel like I wanted to know more about it, about comics anyway.
Definitely.
So,
I feel like it's always so hard to get into comics because like a couple summers ago I tried to like kind of do it, but it's just hard to keep up with. You kind of just have to pick up random shit like and just go from there.
yeah, that's it, Matt.
You said 6 weeks? This is
Uh,
5 weeks.
Well, it's either 5 or 6. I can't remember.
No, I'm messing.
But yeah, that was it because it's I don't.
It's too hard to find a website.
Yeah, sorry about that. But literally, if you just Google it, I'm pretty sure you could find it. It's pretty easy. A friend of mine at work actually sent me the link, and she was telling me about it. So, I immediately signed up and then paid the money that I don't have. But
You think your friend's gonna listen to this podcast?
probably,
Hell yeah.
I
She
was like,
should.
hey, listen
Hell
to it.
yeah.
Shouts to her.
Yeah, hey, Jess. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank
I
you, Jess.
appreciate you, and so do the rest of all of us. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I don't.
edx.org.
Yeah, that's it.
There
Actually,
it is.
edx.org.
Everybody check it out. Sounds
yeah,
cool.
I don't really have much else. I did start the Joker.
Oh,
How is it?
Nice.
I have not gotten too far into it because I started it on a work night, like super
That's
super
always how it
late.
goes.
So
Honestly,
I have not gotten far.
When I used to
but
try and read comics, that's how it would be for me too. I'd start at like
Yeah,
I'm
I would just
super
read them
9 or
excited
10,
about it.
and then I'd go to bed.
I'm just super excited about it. So I will let everyone know how it is when I finish it.
It looks cool. The
eventually.
art looks really fucked up.
It's
Oh
so cool.
yeah.
It's
What?
so
Who's
cool.
who's the author? Do you know?
I
don't know.
can't remember.
It's like it's the comic that's literally just called The Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think it's
just
actually
the
just called
Joker.
Joker.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it's the Joker.
Yeah,
It's
you
got like
might
a
be
really
right.
fucking weird. I don't know, like his lips
No,
on the
it's
front
just
cover
Joker.
or something like that.
Oh.
It's really like
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like
It's
his
so
He's
Yeah.
mouth.
his style, like he's stylized just like the Dark Knight. It's
Right.
really cool. He's got the scars and everything. Although he's way more like brutal and kind of like vicious than in the Dark Knight. So
Rated R.
yeah.
rated R. But
Brian Azzarello.
Okay.
I hope I said his name right.
Everybody check it out.
But yeah, I don't have much else.
Y'all got any other mentions you want to talk about? Anything?
Oh, I'm excited about the new season of Legion. I haven't started it yet, but
Everybody keeps telling me to.
I think it's a very, very weird show, but
I think I'd like it.
I think you would too, actually.
I'll probably watch it this week.
It's super interesting, and like, Aubrey Plaza's in it, and Tyler
her.
loves
Yeah.
her,
Love her.
so I feel like he'd super like that.
Oh, way to just call me out.
Just everyone needs to know. It's fine.
She's great. All right, so that's it for the news and the honorable mentions that we got for this week. So we hope that everybody enjoyed all that.
They didn't.
Next
Tyler's the
part
only
of
one that hopes.
Can we take a quick break real quick?
the show.
Okay, I have
yeah,
to-
let's do it.
Yeah, I have to
Think
pee.
All right, and we are back. So yeah, for this part of the show, like I said before or mentioned before, we are going to review A Quiet Place because we saw that last week. So yeah, we're going to do our initial thoughts first. It's going to be spoiler free, and then at a certain point in the show, we are going to get into spoilers, and we're going to, I guess, warn everybody in the case y'all want to turn it off and not be spoiled. But hopefully, if you're listening to this, you've probably already seen it.
I would
so-
say if you haven't seen this movie, do not listen to any
Yeah,
of the
for sure.
spoilers because there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah, so for me, I really like this movie. I think I probably liked it the least out of everybody else because I guess I kind of wanted it to be scary, but it's a really well-directed movie. The acting is obviously awesome. It's really tense, and like I said, that has a lot to do with how it's directed. But yeah, I really liked it. One of the better horror movies I've seen in a while, so yeah. Go for it, Matt.
Dude, I love this movie so much. And I guess going into it, I thought it was going to be scarier too. And I don't like horror movies. So I was kind of like, everything I'd seen about it, like trailer-wise, cast-wise, I was like, I really want to see this movie, even though I don't like horror movies. Jesus, man.
His mic just attacked him. But I feel like, yeah, like none of us here are really too into horror movies.
Oh
but
no, hate them.
it's accessible to if you're not, because it's more of a suspense kind of movie.
I felt like I just died when
You
I hit,
did.
when it hit my face.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was going to be terrifying because everybody online was saying this movie is
Well, that's-
fucking scary.
And when you see like a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes,
yeah, you're like, okay, fuck, this
this
must be like a really good horror movie, which I think it is. But I
It
guess
is.
we've all kind of said, I don't know if we'd classify this as horror.
I mean, it is a horror. It's just a thriller horror.
It's
But
just
see,
way more along
Right.
the lines of being a
It's
thriller
hard
movie.
for me to even. I cannot stand horror movies. I'm just so bad with them, and I was not.
You've gotten better.
I have gotten better.
Can I finish my
Oh,
initial thoughts?
whoa.
You think?
Sorry.
Can I do that?
Dude, I want you to do it, man.
Thank you. God.
I want you to do it now.
All right. Anyway, though, I loved it. I think this movie, as I was kind of saying, it's way more emotional than I thought it was going to be.
It's very captivating.
It is. There's just a lot to it. There's a lot going on, and I think you watch it, and it's just more than I thought.
It's a
And I
smart
love it.
movie.
I knew I was going to like it, but I had a bar, and it exceeded that. So
Right.
I loved it.
I'm happy.
Good. Okay. I also very much loved this movie. And again, I hate horror movies, so I was very pleasantly surprised that I could like sit through this movie and not like want to run out the theater because I've done that before. So
Really, for what?
for one missed call.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Wow.
Who's in that? Is that fucking?
I don't even know. What was that when I was in like sixth grade?
Didn't you run out of a haunted house too?
A haunted. Oh, I got kicked
The
out
Eddie
of
Murphy
a haunted.
movie?
No.
No, didn't.
I got kicked out of a haunted house.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Oh
thought
no,
when
but
I
I
went
also
to-
ran away. I
Yeah,
ran.
didn't you like go across
You
the street
ran
and just get a
away.
beer?
I just like went and sat at a bar or like across the
Yeah.
street. But either way, so I loved this movie, and it was extremely emotional and like so heartwarming with like a family, and I don't know, I even like kind of teared up just at some of the stuff that was happening, and I don't
that's-
know, all
and
the
that's more what
acting is
it's
so
about.
amazing, like especially in a movie that has pretty much no dialogue, like it's all through facial expressions. So
And that's the thing. The movie's more about. It's not as much about the monster or the horrors or
it's
whatever.
like all about family.
It's more about their relationships, and they
Right.
build that into like a.
So yeah,
a good way.
I know like Tyler apparently is like, oh, it's like a mediocre.
He's not as
movie."
emotional.
I hated it. No, I never said it was mediocre.
No, I
it is.
know, I'm
It is
kidding.
very good. Whoa.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Oh
Thunder.
my
We're also
God.
recording this like
Yeah,
amidst like a
it's-
fucking
Like
like
a
hurricane,
apocalypse.
I
Yeah,
guess.
it's,
you'd
like,
say.
it's awful outside.
That was the worst though. That was
The
that was really
entire
bad.
apartment just shook.
Yeah.
So
It was loud thunder.
And it flickered. You could probably hear it on the mic.
Yeah.
It was like a little zap. I
Yeah.
don't know.
this is not a quiet place.
Wow.
Kill me.
Wow.
I didn't like that.
Take me out of this world.
I didn't like that at all.
But yeah, I mean, I loved the movie. I thought it was amazing. So and congrats, John.
Yeah.
You did great.
Yeah.
Very good. Omar, what you got?
Okay, so I probably like horror movies the most out of everybody here. I mean, I watch them often. I think they're really cool. Yeah, the concept for this movie I really, really liked. It was very simple. We didn't really know too much about the monsters or anything, which or whatever the creatures, which I didn't mind at all. It was like you guys said, more about the family.
Yeah, you didn't need to know.
Exactly, and it it just worked. I do think if they were to ever make any other versions of it or whatever, like when it releases,
Please
like
don't.
I told you guys.
No, like I hope they do not make anymore.
No. You remember like last week I was saying like if they were to make like a version once it releases without like any
Oh.
scores.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay, I
like a
got
you.
si-
Right.
like
I thought
a
you meant-
silent
you're right.
film.
No.
I thought we were getting into the hole because there
Jesus.
probably will be a sequel
No,
that
not
nobody
a sequel.
wants to happen.
No. When it
Oh
releases,
yeah,
I think
no,
that'd
this
be
is
really
this
cool.
is cool.
Yeah, because I mean the score obviously like everything with that movie. I mean, you can't really say it was a horror movie, but it was very intense throughout. I mean, just in the first like 5 minutes, because they've got like all these rules and stuff that they're not supposed to break, so you're just like kind of waiting for them to break it.
The movie answers your questions of
They
like how
break
the
it.
fuck they're gonna do this.
Exactly.
Like,
It just
it's-
makes it so much more intense watching it.
And that's what I mean when I say it's smart, and it is intense. And what's the most interesting thing about the movie is that usually when you go see horror movies, people don't shut the fuck up.
Oh,
in the
Oh
theater.
my
right.
god,
Yeah.
this
But
this needs
in
to be
the
said.
theater
yeah.
that we saw, I mean, it was like dead silent.
And just
They
from
did-
talking to other people that have seen this movie too, I think so many theaters
Yeah.
are like ours.
Dude,
where
yeah,
it's just
because
like
I've
because
seen other
our
people
theater
talk
was
about it.
fucking packed, and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
just it was set up to be like
Yeah, I
we
was
know
very
this is gonna be a
surprised.
quiet movie,
Yeah.
and
We
people
saw
are
it
gonna be
on opening
talking
night,
the
so-
whole time, but really nobody said anything. I mean,
No.
you hear more of like people's fucking like candy wrappers, like not even being obnoxiously
Yeah.
loud, but you just hear this stuff,
Right.
and it's because everybody really is. They feel like they can't make any noise.
No, I was so proud.
It's like you're
of our
trying to like
theater.
unwrap something, and you know that thing where like you're waiting for like a loud part in the movie, so that
Right.
people don't
Right.
hear you like opening up your fucking candy bar. But in this movie, there's like so little of it. It's
I
just-
do that. That's like rule of thumb. Any movie I see, if I have like a snack or something, I wait till it's loud. Because then when it gets
Exact-
fucking
yeah.
quiet and you're fucking
Yep.
like rustling around, it's just
Exactly.
Remember we
like,
saw
it's so
X,
off.
remember we saw X-Men and my fucking M&M's.
The first,
I wasn't there.
minute of the
Yeah.
movie, Matt opens a huge pack of M&Ms, and you just hear them all hit the floor.
Oh, no.
like,
Dude, they're all gone, and it wasn't
All
even the
of
ones
them.
I
What
snuck.
kind?
It wasn't like peanut M&Ms. They were like the
Ooh.
giant ones too.
yeah.
And I didn't even. It wasn't like I snuck them in,
No,
so I
we
got them for like
paid
90
for
cents.
it.
I paid
I'd be
like
so-
fucking movie theater
Like
$5
$4
premium
for a
price
bag of
for 'em.
M&Ms.
And so that they were just I think I maybe had like 4 or 5 of them left. What is all that? Is that
The
rain?
rain?
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
that would
Yeah.
be our fireplace.
That would be our fireplace.
Our fireplace.
Oh, your fireplace. That's right. We're gonna have to do something about that, but we'll do it after. Okay. So yeah, did everybody say their bit?
Yeah, I think
so,
I think so, yeah.
Let's,
So good.
let's deep dive into
All right,
this.
so
do
yeah,
it.
we're gonna deep dive into the spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to hear it,
Turn us off.
get the hell out of here.
Later.
But come back, please.
But
Yeah, we'll-
hopefully,
we'll
I
be
mean,
back.
the movie's been out a week, so hopefully, if y'all are listening to this, y'all have seen it. But yeah.
And if you haven't, go. Because it is so worth it seeing in theaters, honestly.
So,
Oh, yeah,
so
it's-
Matt, I feel like you like this movie the most. Do you want to start off on this like?
Yeah, sure. I can
Going
start,
off on
start
it?
kind of going through it. All right. So we'll summarize it, kind of like an extended summary where we'll just kind of talk about it as
Talk
we go
about
through
things
it.
as
We'll
we
keep us
go through.
on track because we could be kind of bad with that if we don't. And okay, so basically this movie kind of starts off. You see this, within like a gas station or like a fucking just like a little
It's
shop.
like a,
Convenience
it's like a
store?
Yeah.
CVS.
Yeah, like a
practically.
pharmacy.
Right, and so that complete silence. You kind of get the point of what's going on. But anyway, so they're looking for medicine. I think for the Marcus, so the middle kid's
Yeah.
name, because he's kind of sick or whatever. So
The kid from Wonder.
that's right. He wasn't
One of the kids
He was
in
very
Oh,
good.
he's so adorable.
I
I,
think
love
you,
that actor.
You turned to me during it, and you were like, "Is that the kid from Wonder?" And I was like,
Oh yeah, I
"No."
heard that.
He's in
And
Wonder.
then
and
like two seconds later, I was like, "Oh wait."
You were
yeah,
like, yeah.
he was in
never
Wonder
mind.
and he was in Suburbicon, and John Krasinski wanted him after he saw Suburbicon because he thought he was good.
yeah, that's cool." Basically, then Bo, I think I'm saying is that none of these characters have names in the movie.
They don't say them, yeah.
but they do have actual names. So Bo is like the youngest kid.
It says it like on the credits and shit.
Right, and he finds just like a little toy rocket, and he's like reaching for it. He gets it, and
What does
I
he
guess
do?
reaching for it. Oh, what does he do with it?
Yeah.
And so basically, that's when Lee, John Krasinski's character, kind of shows up and he takes it from him. He's like, "No, we can't use this, dude.
You
We gotta be
see-
quiet."
You see the look in Lee's eyes when he sees his kid grab this
Lee.
rocket, and you're just like, "Oh my god,
yeah, 'cause he's-
the world's gonna
I
end."
can't say Lee seriously.
I know, I just wanna
Oh,
say
no, I want to say
John.
John.
Because it's like when we saw the movie, like a couple days later, I think Omar said something like about because their name are the Abbotts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Omar said something about Lee Abbott, and Bailey was like, well, "Who the fuck? What are you talking about?"
He's like, you have no idea who these
yeah, it's like they
characters'
have last
names are.
names too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically he takes the rocket from him, and they're basically leaving this place now. And I think the daughter, whose name is Reagan, gives the rocket. She takes the batteries out, right? Or no, John takes the batteries out,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
gives the rocket back to him.
And then the little kid, he takes the batteries
Yeah.
Right.
himself.
And this
No one
is
sees
kind
him do
of
it.
the first point where you're like, okay, if you want to pick apart this movie, you could be like, why the fuck? Or do the parents not
Why
like
didn't
follow
one of
the
them
kids?
take the batteries?
Yeah, or just because they just leave them on the counter. It's like
Right.
whatever. I think with like horror movies, you kind of just got to give in to some of those things. But basically they leave, and so you kind of just know, all right, well, he's gonna put the batteries back in it, and that's exactly what happens. They're crossing this bridge. Tell you what, though, that was a fucking intense way to open the movie.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're crossing the bridge basically, and you just hear the toy rocket go off, which essentially is, I guess, the first real sound you hear. Yeah.
There it is.
And then you just know we don't know anything yet about what I guess we don't even really know that they're monsters or creatures yet. I mean, aside from the trailers,
If
but
you hadn't seen the trailers, you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
you're like,
is
so
going
what is
on?
going to happen?
Right.
And this thing just fucking darts out of the
Yeah.
forest, kills the kid, and that's it. And that I think is so terrifying. That just there's
yeah.
nothing else to it. It's not like then they fight the fucker.
Right.
It's just like
It's just
I just-
gone.
the kid's
it's
dead.
gone forever.
I
just
love
takes
that
him.
that's like how the movie started. Like that's how it was set up or whatever. Because it's just like right off the bat, like there's
Yeah.
shit, shit
They're like,
Oh,
this
for
shit's
sure.
happening.
Right.
And
I
that
think-
was in the story. Sorry, not to interrupt. They were on day like 80.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
89.
I think that was day
Of like
80.
whenever these monsters first came,
Right.
and then basically after that they do a time
which
jump
is
to,
awesome
like 3
because
something.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that's how they start the movie, like on whatever the 89th day, not like on day
Right.
one.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
I mean, the movie would be very, very slow,
Again,
dragging. They'd be just.
It's
like,
one
all
of
over the
those
place.
things where it's like we don't really need all the backstory
Exactly.
of that, and I
Exactly.
think there are people that see this movie and they're like, "Well, I want to know more about
Well,
it. I don't
that's-
get it,"
yeah.
and it's like you're really just not supposed to get it. It's like,
Right.
what explanation could you have gotten that would even satisfy
It's
you?
not even-
I mean, we've seen it all before. I don't think we really need it.
And it's not even really a story that's supposed to be explaining these aliens or monsters. It's more a story of how this family is surviving in a world
Right.
that's been attacked by something.
Exactly.
Right. For
So
sure.
it really just needs to highlight what the family's going through, and people can get the hell over it.
And
if
what-
you
what-
don't know where these monsters came from.
What grips the audience and makes it to where people don't like talk and stuff like that and want to pay attention is too because you are expecting like, are they gonna explain it? Like, and you want to keep watching because you're interested. So
Right.
it just works out
I agree
better
with that
not
for sure.
saying what.
But yeah, this little boy just got swooped up, and
Yeah.
then it just cuts to the family at the house, and you're just like,
Yeah, they do a time jump.
Yeah, they take like
So
a pretty
sad.
big time jump. I guess it's what, like the equivalent of like a year and a half,
about
something like that.
About a year.
Yeah, they go to like day. Is it 300, 400 something?
it's
It was
four. I think it's
400.
400.
It's
something.
four something. Yeah.
But basically, so then you're in like their actual house. I think that's the first shot we get of like the dry erase board that's kind of got like John Krasinski's all like his notes
and stuff
about
yeah.
like what's fucking going on. I think that's when we find out there's I think 3 of them.
Weakness.
Like trying to figure
Yeah.
out the creatures.
Oh,
like, what is
three
his
creatures
weakness?
in there?
Armor?
Or-
But basically, he's got all these notes, and then you also see he's got kind of like all these little like fucking like earpiece stuff, and like the diagram of like a human ear, and he's kind of working on stuff which you assume, his daughter's deaf.
His
so
daughter-
he's kinda
yeah, their
trying
daughter
to
in the
build like a
movie-
hearing aid for her.
She's actually deaf, and she's actually deaf in real life too.
Yeah, a little
So
interesting
Which
side
is
note.
is super cool that he thought to cast someone
right,
like
like
that.
specifically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's cool.
for sure. It definitely adds a lot to it. But then basically, you just keep going over. We're seeing more and more of how they have to interact with their lives. Like, the kids after they eat. I guess even when they're eating, they use like lettuce instead of plates.
Dude,
Yeah.
like
that's so cool.
was it
that-
lettuce? What
It
It
was
was
lettuce,
like
yeah.
lettuce leaves. They literally
Okay.
had to put their food in, and it's like little things like that you don't even take
I
into
wonder if-
consideration. Having to be so
Yeah.
quiet.
I wonder if they ate the lettuce like afterwards.
I would
yeah, they
hope.
just like eat the plate every time.
I was wondering that the whole time
It's
because
like a
I think
lettuce wrap.
that's kind of like how they serve food at Little
Oh,
Tokyo or something.
For some reason,
Like-
I thought you meant like after they filmed the scene, they let the kids eat the fucking lettuce.
All right, we're done the scene.
Nope.
Get rid of that shit because we don't want it. Eat it right now.
Oh man! But then basically, it's really cool when you see kind of all the different things they have to, or ways they have to interact with
Yeah,
this
Right,
world
and
to
they're-
like basically just survive.
And they're playing a board game, and all the pieces, like they're playing Monopoly,
Yeah.
and all the
It's like
pieces are
felt.
like, yeah, it's like
Little,
cutouts
like
of
knickknacks,
like,
but like stuff that can't make any noise.
It's all soft.
That's really cool. And I guess that's when you get maybe like the first kind of like jump scares when you kind of that might have been in the trailer too, but they knock over the lantern.
I don't think it was in the trailer actually.
Maybe not.
It was the lantern.
It was in
yeah.
one
Oh
of
man,
them.
I know nothing.
I mean, there was
No,
like
it
3
was.
trailers. There was in one of them.
I think it's in it, but you don't even know the context of it. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
happen right here. But basically, they knock over the lantern, and to be honest, what even why does that the?
it's just loud.
No, I know it's loud, but what happens to where they don't get fucking eaten from that? Did it go and get something outside instead?
John Krasinski's character just like he gets it out, like he puts it out really quick.
Right.
And they just stay silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
But
don't
doesn't
move.
something like fall out of a window after that?
Oh,
like
oh,
he's
yeah.
looking outside.
It was an animal or
It
something.
was like
Yeah.
a squirrel or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the creature kills it.
Right.
And
It was
a
it was a
raccoon.
raccoon when we first
Yeah.
see him.
Right. But anyway, so we kind of get past that, and then we even get to that whole scene where I guess Lee is kind of like built the next version of the hearing aid he's going to give his daughter. And you kind of get the sense that he's done this a lot because when he goes to give it to her, she's very much. What does she say?
She
keeps
says
saying,
it
like,
won't
it
work.
won't work, and they're signing everything.
And he
in this movie,
keeps saying you have to
obviously.
try, and she's
Right.
like, it won't work.
And I love this scene too because after doing that, like that whole exchange for about 3 or 4 times back and forth, he just like takes her hand and just gives it
Was
to her. And he's
that-
like, if you want it, then take it.
Yeah.
Was that right after he stopped her from? You remember like when she was trying to, I guess, go
Oh, she
down
was
the
like,
basement or whatever?
Yeah, she was trying to.
Oh
go
yeah,
down
I
the
said you can't come
basement.
down here.
I didn't really understand why he wouldn't let her go down there. I mean, it's not like there was like.
I kind of
really-
think that may play back into the whole thing about like we know he doesn't not love his daughter, but we know that he knows that she's the reason that Bo, the youngest son, is dead, and maybe I'm not saying like holds anything against her,
Well-
but maybe it's just this whole thing. He's like, just don't be involved in all this
I also
stuff.
think it might have something to do with the fact that like that's where he was doing all his research
I guess
for these
yeah,
monsters.
Yeah.
because it's like he told her he told her you know like you know why you can't go down there or something. I think.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I'm
interesting.
pretty sure.
I don't even
yeah.
remember that.
I
So,
also
yeah,
thought,
it's-
just to mention, like, it's super cool. It shows on, like, the staircase going down to the basement. They literally have, like, painted on, not like footprints, but it's like for where you need to step.
Right, yeah. I didn't
So
even notice
that, like, the wood doesn't creak. I just
Right.
think it's like they literally
cool.
have everything down to that, like where you
Right.
step specifically.
And that's what I love about this movie because there's different points during it where you come up with a plot hole in your head.
Right.
And I think the movie
answers
resolves
it.
most of them
Yeah.
as the movie goes on.
It's a smart movie.
It definitely is.
It is.
So anyway, we get beyond that is when Lee is taking the middle or Marcus. He's taking him
Yeah.
basically out to scavenge for food and stuff. And then Reagan, is kind of pleading that she wants to go. It's kind of interesting because his son Marcus doesn't even want to go. He's like, "Can I
Right.
stay?" And she wants to go. And I guess you get into that whole thing where like the father is like, "No, I have to teach my son. You
Right.
need to be able to do this." I think he even says like you're gonna be able to protect your mother
Right.
as time
right.
goes on.
His
so-
pregnant mother.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true. It is.
Poor
She's
Emily being so pregnant in such a terrible time.
Yeah, it's kind of like, why is she pregnant? Why did
That's
she?
the thing. The movie doesn't ever tell you. Like, it's one of those things. Like, she's obviously just pregnant because it's like they lost one of their other kids, so I guess they wanted to try again, and then like they prepared for it very.
Well, it's
like,
interesting
well.
to think about. Like, did they plan? I guess that they probably
Or
did.
was it
plan
just
to
an
have a kid,
accident?
or was it an accident?
Right.
And as soon as they
Could've been.
And they
realized
don't
that
tell
they started
you.
planning,
It could be either or. I
Yeah.
guess you're just supposed to think it doesn't really matter.
and I think that's cool
but-
too because you can kind of go along either way. I guess like for plot, it would actually make more sense to think that it was just an accident, and now they're like fucked, and
That's
they have to
what
figure
would-
it out.
that's what would make the
because you
most
would say
sense.
like, why would they even want to bring a kid?
Because
into
I
this
don't
world?
see how two people could be like, yeah, we're gonna fucking
Yeah.
bring a kid in this
Right.
awful
Exactly.
world.
Right,
but-
which
And that's probably what it is, but it's cool to also think like because it does make sense. Like we lost a kid,
Like,
and now we're
maybe
gonna do
they did
everything
just
we
say,
can to
"Let's
make this
do it."
perfect, and let's try to have another kid.
Which they even show, which was like such a sad scene. Whenever they show, what I don't know Emily Blunt's character's name.
Evelyn, I think.
Evelyn.
Yeah.
They show her sitting in the youngest son's bedroom, and she's just sitting there like in a chair,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Oh yeah,
crying, mourning her dead son. It's such a sad scene,
it
and
definitely is.
she's sitting there like super pregnant.
I mean,
so.
yeah, everything with that, just I mean, obviously was sad, but like I said, that it sets up the whole movie because that also like you could tell like Lee, John Krasinski's character, like that gives him more. I mean, not that he wasn't a responsible father prior, but that just makes him feel a lot more responsible. That now he has to protect his kids.
Oh, yeah.
Now he has to protect his wife.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's doing all this research. I mean, we really have no idea what they were doing prior to this like new world or whatever they were throwing
Well, I
into.
feel like they were probably just trying to figure out how the fuck to
'Cause-
like.
no, I mean like
What
wait,
are we
like,
gonna do?
yeah, no, I mean like prior to the creatures or whatever. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
because I mean they seem really smart and knowledgeable, even
Mm-hmm.
the kids. Like whatever. So yeah, now he feels a lot more responsible and he's doing all this research. Just trying to figure everything out, and I think that kind of sets up the whole movie.
oh
which
for
is
sure,
cool.
it
Yeah.
definitely does. So then to kind of fast forward a bit, we get he takes his son out there. They get to this lake. The son is obviously very like cautious because he never makes any
Right.
noise, and I guess this is his first time going to the lake. And I think John like tries to get one of the John Lee, whatever. He tries to get like one of the fish, and it kind of like shoots out into the kid's like going for it. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. But then that's when he kind of can start saying you get the whole thing about like you can make noise as long as it's lower than the loudest noise around,
Right.
which is kind of like common sense, but at the same time it just sets one of the rules for the whole film,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
So that was cool. And then as it goes on, they get like underneath that waterfall, and I guess this is like really the first lines of like spoken dialogue
They actually
in the
talk to
movie
each other.
is when like he starts talking. And then I guess when you've got any movie where you've spent 45 minutes of it so far with no dialogue, and then you get like the first lines, it hits you no matter what. But I feel
Yeah.
like just in this, it was like, I mean, when I don't even remember exactly what he says.
Well, they
but-
start talking about. I think the son asked him like why he didn't let
His daughter.
his daughter
Whatever.
like
Reagan.
go with them or go in the room or whatever, and they kind of just. I think he even asked like, "Do you hate her?" And John Krasinski's like, "No,
Right.
like obviously not."
Right.
Like,
I felt like that part under the waterfall was like satisfying to a certain extent, just because like you said, they're quiet, they can't really talk. It was mostly sign language until that part, and
And
yeah,
they,
I mean,
they even
and
do
it-
the thing where they're like howling.
exactly,
kinda
yeah,
have
that part
fun
was
for the
cool. And it
first
was just,
time
like, a
too, and that
tense
was so
movie.
cool.
It was like it was very very tense up until that part for me, and it kind of just helps you a little just for a second like relax. For
Yeah.
Well, his son is like terrified.
Right,
Even
yeah.
being under a waterfall, John or Lee is literally like.
And the thing
you
is,
can
I'm
speak.
John Lee.
right, and I'm sure
John Lee is a cool
That's a
name.
cool name.
that is a
Could have been the
cool name.
podcast name.
Wow.
John Lee. Hey,
And I'm
Yeah,
pretty
well,
sure you guys like felt the
I don't
same way.
like
But
that.
as I was watching the movie, I mean, throughout like any scene or whatever, I'm just always thinking, how are they gonna fuck up, or when are they gonna fuck up?
Yeah, but in the waterfall, you kind of feel relieved.
Exactly.
It's
yeah,
like the only
just-
time you
just
can
for a
relax
second.
for a second,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Which is
So
the
that was-
same
it was
for
satisfying.
this.
Which would have been the time to fucking hit us, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sweet little thing in the movie.
It definitely
Yeah.
is. I love that whole bit. So then basically and I guess this is another part where it maybe opens up. You see the lake and you're like, so why don't they just live by the lake? They could make a little bit more noise. They'd be
Right.
fine. And so you're thinking, well, at least go to the lake when she's pregnant. And so again, your mind kind of develops this plot hole at this point, which down the line we get an answer for anyway.
Right.
But then we go and they leave the lake and they're going to another like kind of residence, which I guess we don't really talk about this, but there was a part prior to this where they light up that fucking flame thing.
Yeah.
Just a fire.
They
I
communicate
guess.
with other people.
Yeah,
They
it's
kind of
like
just
on top
check
of
up
a
on each
tower,
other.
They
And-
light up like
yeah.
a campfire.
And we don't know
practically.
how often they really do this. It could be every night. It could be like once a week or once a month. But it's basically like they clearly have a set time with all the other kind of families they know are out there where it's just like light this thing up. We're going to look out and see who's still out there. So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. So
It's like, hey, we're okay.
yeah. So they have another place I guess they go to. I don't really remember what they were doing going there. Maybe they were going to give that family, husband and wife, like some food or something. And honestly, I think I've told y'all, this probably would have been the scariest part if I hadn't seen it in the
Oh.
trailer, where they're kind of the close up on the kid and he's walking through the forest, and then you see the man just kind of stand
He's
up or
like
whatever.
It's very,
appears.
it's
that
very.
that
That
would
man
have
was
freaked
very
me out,
creepy,
but
dude.
you
Like,
do
the
see that in
faces-
like the last trailer, so
the
I kind of
faces
knew
he
that was
was
gonna happen.
making.
Oh yeah, because basically that's when you see. So his wife was like dead. She obviously had made a
Right.
sound at some point, and they had killed her. But he was still alive, and I guess you get this whole sense he doesn't want to live anymore or whatever. It is kind of fucked up that he's gonna choose to
Ruin
yell
these other people's
and
day.
make his noise next to them. Although I guess we don't really know. It definitely seems like these creatures come out and just kill the sound, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
They
John
literally
Krasinski
can't-
obviously
It's like
knew
they
that
eat-
because the kid is thinking in his head, "We're fucked." You can tell
Right.
from his face, but John's like, "No, be quiet. We're running over this tree.
Mhm.
We're just gonna,
Right.
we're
And
gonna ride
that's
this
kind of
out."
when you realize that, I mean, you get the sense that obviously these creatures like track everything through sound, but here is like you find out that they literally can't see. Like
Yeah.
like these creatures
They're
literally
blind.
can only attack
Completely.
anything from the sound they
Right.
make.
Right.
So
So that was cool. We get this. The dude kind of like scrunches his face up and just lets out this fucking like terrifying like
The
"Ah!"
weirdest face, dude.
and then so but basically obviously our main characters are fine. They get out of this shit. And then I guess as all this is going on, we got Emily Blunt starting to go into labor.
Oh
which
yeah.
is,
Well,
it's
not
like
only
no,
that-
you can't do it yet.
not only that, but Reagan
Oh.
runs away
That's
from
true.
home
Yeah.
and leaves her pregnant mother alone.
All by herself.
Yeah, she's by herself. She goes
Well,
into labor.
in all fairness, she wasn't supposed to be going into labor for like another what?
That's true. You
Two
do
weeks?
look. You just see the
Yeah.
calendar at
They-
one point and it says due date, which
Right.
you would assume. I guess
So-
they're just careful planners.
She can't.
Right. And how
Um,
they knew when the due date
yeah.
was is beyond me.
But yeah,
They did some crazy stuff. But so basically she's going into labor early. We got that whole shot before where she was going up the stairs and kind of her whatever dress like
Yeah.
tripped on the nail, and that's just like fucking pointing out.
Dude,
you
that
know?
nail, man.
So we knew
On
she
the
was gonna step
staircase.
on it, and so obviously she's going into labor, going downstairs into the whole safe room, and fucking
I
step
thought
right on
in the
that nail.
foot. I thought
Right on
every
it.
fucking character was gonna step on that nail.
Oh, yeah.
The creatures, everybody,
they-
everybody.
that
They
nail
do-
was going to be the real villain
They
of the
leave
movie.
that nail there
I hated
throughout,
that
even
nail.
after this.
And they
but
keep
yeah,
they keep showing it.
they do,
Right.
and it's just I guess
and the
after
bloody
that, it's just
footprint
a-
on it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But basically, so that goes in her foot. It looks like it's gonna fucking come out the other side of her
it
foot.
does.
Yeah, it looks
Thankfully
terrible.
that doesn't happen, but she does have to like pull her foot off of it. You
She's-
just feel so bad for her.
I
She's
mean,
like going through hell right now.
Imagine being in labor and then stepping on a nail like that and not being able to make a sound.
I know.
I don't even know how you could.
I don't know.
I would immediately just die. Just immediately scream and be like, "Well, here, this is the end of me."
Power to Emily Blunt.
But so
Yeah.
yeah,
Powerful woman.
strong woman. There you go.
But anyway, so she's going into labor. I guess as this is happening too is when Reagan is going to visit Bo,
The site or whatever,
the like
yeah.
the kind of back on that bridge, the little makeshift grave site they made, which was also really sad and kind of cool. And then she puts the rocket there without the sound.
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
So it's
she
kind of cool
cuts-
because she wires it. She's got the batteries in
Right.
it. But
she,
she
like,
takes
cuts
she
the
wires
cord.
yeah, so that it's not making sound anymore, and
But
you
it
just have
still
the lights
lights
going
up,
there. That
right.
was real cool. Kind of like imagery is nice. But yeah. So then more of this. I've told y'all before. I love when basically John Krasinski and his son are on their way back to the fucking
And you
house,
see the lights.
and the lights in the cornfield that they had rigged up. They're not yellow anymore, they're red, which Emily Blunt had like switched, like fucking help. Obviously I was there for like a sign. And it's like getting dark and he sees those red lights and he just fucking like starts bolting there. Yeah. And I just thought that, even though that's not like a jump scare or anything, there's just something like, that's when like your heart kind of just
like
sinks.
that's when you know shit's about to go down.
It's like fuck.
The movie speeds up.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I've even seen people online criticize from this point on because the movie has very much of like a score going forward. And people are saying it really didn't need that. Although I mean,
it's like action scenes and stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like
why.
people are saying, I saw something online. Some dude was like, the sound in our theater like cut out for 15 minutes, and I thought that's how the movie was supposed to be. And he's like, I recommend all theaters turning off the sound during these 15 minutes. And I'm like, dude,
what is with like?
It's not gonna happen. It's like, no. I mean, I think it, like you said, it's action scenes. You know, it's supposed to be like that. So it's I don't know. He basically runs, and I don't think he forgets about his kid, but at the same time, he's thinking my pregnant wife. Like,
well,
that's
he didn't forget
my
about
goal.
him. He told him what to do. You know, with the fireworks.
Right, with the
and
fireworks.
right.
And I guess you have faith in your kid too that they
and
probably
I think he was
practice
told,
that.
like the kid was told to stay there and wait until one of the parents came back to get him.
Right,
so
because they do kind of go to that after where they're like, where are they? And they're like, they're smart kids. They're gonna wait for us.
Well, when she went into labor, I don't remember what happened exactly, but something happened where something made noise, and so the monsters came and started.
Well, she screamed.
Did she?
Yeah.
I don't.
Once the
remember.
fireworks started.
Well, she
No,
screams
I'm
once the
talking
fireworks start
before
because
then.
then
before the fireworks start.
The
to
monsters are
distract
already
them.
there.
They're in.
Oh, okay. Well,
they're-
she dropped.
Oh, yeah, they're in
No,
the
she
house.
turns on the little egg thing. The
timer?
the
No,
like,
but there was
No.
they were
Okay.
already there.
When she was going down the stairs right before she steps on the nail, she was carrying something, and as soon as she steps on the nail, she
Oh.
drops. The
Oh, it's a
fuck out.
picture.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah,
picture
it
frame.
Yeah, the
breaks,
frame, whatever.
picture
So
frame
that's-
breaks.
yeah.
Oh,
So when
And
she
that's when they came.
when she is going into labor, steps on the nail, drops.
She makes like
whatever it is. She realizes like she had to hurry up, yank her foot off this nail, and then get to a bathtub,
Right.
and like she rigged a timer to go off and put it in a different
so she can get
Exactly.
part of the
Oh,
room.
yeah, to
Which
make
was
a
so
sound.
smart.
I completely
because
forgot
she
about
knew
that.
they were coming, and she was like, I gotta make a run for it pretty much. So she put
Right.
it on the other side of the room and went off. Obviously the
And she
monster
runs.
went over there, and she ran upstairs
Yeah,
to get in
very smart.
the tub so she could birth this child.
And then the fireworks go off,
And
then
that's when you
she-
realize
that's when
they
she
had a
starts
plan
screaming
for
and
this
she-
all along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she gives birth.
Right, and,
It's
and
very-
that goes back to the whole rule they set up with the loudest noise.
Right,
and it's like,
exactly.
okay, so they had this all figured out, which I thought was
Right.
really really cool. And also
Yeah.
just the image
And-
of like all those fireworks going off and the sounds. It was like,
And that's the
so
thing with the
cool.
fireworks. I think that's really cool because I mean, there's a lot of other things that could have made that much of a sound, but I think the whole fireworks up in the sky and everything,
Absolutely.
just so Reagan could also see it, because
Yeah.
you've got to keep in mind she can't hear shit,
Right.
you know,
So she can know what's going on.
exactly, and that's the thing.
And then also, we were
She saw
talking
it.
before about how also fireworks, it's like a sound you can't pinpoint.
right.
Right.
It's because
exactly.
people were saying, so aren't they going to go to the sound and like fuck it? But it's like the fireworks up in the sky. The creatures were probably like fucking confused.
They were like,
Right.
what the fuck's going
Yeah,
on?
because never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
What?
Something with like the shotgun, but we can
Oh.
talk about that later. But yeah, so that obviously is cool. And I guess at this point now, Lee is like getting into the house, and
Right.
he kind of goes upstairs or downstairs or wherever and sees the tub and it's all like bloodied and stuff, and he's like, fuck.
He thinks
like,
she's
He
dead.
immediately
yeah, because he's probably thinking like, there's
drops.
no way she could have done this. And then you get the another jump scare kind of thing where her hand like in the shower.
Right.
That I did jump bad on that one,
Yeah.
but you just see this like bloody hand hit the door to the shower, and it's so sad too because you see John like drop to the ground just like, my wife's dead, like
Yeah.
the baby's dead, my wife's dead, and like you just see him hit like that part of like. I'm sorry, I just got so distracted.
This dude looking at us.
I just got so distracted. I'm sorry, but you just see it like hit him as hard as it did when his kid died. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy. It's very powerful. But then they kind of go. Me and Tyler loved this whole thing because they
Oh,
kept
the
showing it in the
mattress?
trailer. But and we didn't even. I guess in the
It's-
trailer maybe
it's
they edited
different.
out the baby or something.
They did.
They edit out that like he's holding on to like Emily Blunt,
Blunt,
right.
right, and the baby.
Right, because basically they're going underground.
So
which this
why
is when
even
we
put
were-
that in the trailer?
I
Like
don't
it's
know.
so goofy.
That's what I'm saying. It's very.
I mean, I'm
goofy
happy.
like that.
wait.
It's funny though.
I know you guys want to talk about this, but real quick, it just like right before they went to the house, I think that scene took place in right before when he was carrying Emily Blunt and she's not even holding the baby or whatever. That was right before it, right?
No, she was holding the baby.
Well,
I'm
no,
pretty
you remember
sure.
how her arms were like all over the fucking place, and John's like holding her.
I don't.
When they were walking to the house, you remember? That's the whole thing when she says,
Oh,
I wasn't even
oh.
holding the baby.
Yeah, I don't remember if that happens before
Oh,
they get
I
downstairs
think-
or not. But that's when
think it
she
was.
kind of goes back and she says like, because obviously this is like an inner demon she struggles with now.
Right.
Is thinking back about when their youngest son died, and she says the whole thing about like my hands were free.
Yeah, like who?
Like
who
I
are we,
could have
you know,
been
if we-
carrying him, like
Right.
where like this whole thing about like are we bad parents?
Yeah.
But way worse.
I
Than
think that was maybe right before they
Yeah,
walked into the house.
it
Okay,
could
I
have
just
been.
wanted to.
But yeah, obviously that's another very powerful thing,
Yeah.
and you feel so bad for them. It's like they did just kind of fuck up, and it's another one of those things where you think back to like why weren't they carrying him?
Right,
Kind
and
of like
I
as
mean,
a plot
dude,
hole,
when
and then
she-
you
when she
realize it's
asked-
actually just like a character.
When
like,
she asked that question, like, who are we, if we can't protect our kids, whatever, that hit me. And
Oh,
I mean,
for
that
sure.
kind of sets up, like, the ending of the movie. But
definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then just to the whole mattress thing is kind of funny. He goes and into like the kind of underground bunker soundproof room or whatever, and he just pulls the mattress over them. And in the trailer, that part is so funny. Obviously,
so funny.
in the context of the movie, not funny at all. Very smart that they have this whole underground basement like soundproofed essentially. But you know, really cool. They get under there.
and then the baby like starts crying,
Yeah.
and like the way they solve that is they have like a
It almost looks like a miniature
wait, is-
coffin.
oh my
He's
god.
under the
not
oxygen.
that, like the oxygen.
breathing
yeah,
mask.
yeah,
They,
but
like-
it's inside of this miniature coffin.
Well, they put the
They-
breathing mask on the
they
baby.
put like a breathing mask on it, and then there's a part where basically at this point they have to go and find the other kids because they're not with them obviously. So there's a scene where John Krasinski puts the baby. It has the breathing
Oh
mask
my
on,
God.
and then they put it in a.
I know what
in
you're
a-
To be
about to say,
fair,
too.
in a
this scene,
box.
I don't think the scene is goofy at all. I'm laughing more because they give you about a minute of context as if like they're putting the breathing mask on him, they're putting the baby in the box,
And it
the
has a
box
hole
has a
in it.
hole in it, like a
Yeah.
breathing, like the baby is not gonna fucking suffocate in this box. But in our theater, and like I said, the theater was really good about like being quiet, but when they slide the door onto the box and the baby's in there, somebody just like down in our theater just lets out this like audible like like
Out of
the,
all the
like the
parts
baby's
you
gonna
got-
fucking
It was fucking
die. I was
funny.
like, dude, did you black out for the last minute? 'Cause the baby's gonna be fine.
They're killing the baby.
It was just really funny, and I was laughing for about
yeah,
a minute.
from-
Took
from-
me kind of out of it, but
From then on, he goes to find the other two kids, and they're in like this like corn silo.
dude, yeah. And apparently, I looked that up because people were like, "Can you really die from like
You
drowning in
can.
corn?"
Oh,
you
yeah,
can.
for sure.
Oh, it's
You
like- it's
definitely
like
can. It's a very
quicksand.
Someone falls in, you're fucked.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen that scene like in a lot of movies or whatever
Yeah.
TV shows.
And it's,
but,
like, terrifying.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, they fall into like this silo, and then eventually they get out. How do they even get out? Because the door
The,
falls.
the creature breaks in through the
Yeah.
bottom.
They get
You
out
remember?
that way, but the way they survive is because when
door.
they fell
The
in,
doors.
the door falls in
That's
with
right.
and they
them. So
use
they
them
use
kind
it
of like
kind of like in
Titanic.
The Titanic.
That's what I
That's
was
dude. That's
thinking,
what I was
too. I mean,
thinking.
that's
yeah.
exactly what it
you
is.
know, they both fit on the door, so
Yeah,
So
I
Jack
mean, it's
and
always
fucking
that fucking problem.
they could have
Yeah,
done it.
Good point.
Easy.
Good point.
Oh man, but yeah, so that whole thing is intense. There's a point where Reagan or was it the son goes underneath the corn
Reagan
and they're
does.
pulling.
Well, technically
Dude,
they
that
both
part
do.
scared me.
But
a
one
little.
of them's pulling the other one's hand
And
out.
you think like,
Remember
what
that?
is he gonna
And
pull
you think
up?
like, is he pulling out like the dead kid, or is he pulling out the creature? What the fuck's gonna happen? And it ends up
Yeah,
being another one of those
even
just like,
even with when the hand came out, it looked weird at first.
Yeah.
Like the very first, I don't know.
oh, it did.
Yeah.
Go, oh yeah, because when the hand starts coming out, it looks like it's like limp.
Yeah, I was like,
about
what the fuck?
about to-
Yeah.
Death by corn.
Jeez.
Yeah, which can happen apparently. But then so yeah, they do end up getting out of there, and John Krasinski's basically gotten to them now at this point. They kind
But
of
the monster's going
reunite.
nuts.
Yeah, the monster is going because what even happens? Because they get a whole moment where they hug and everything.
The what?
Right?
I don't know. I think
I don't even remember because they get out of the corn tower thing, and then Lee like reunites with his kids, and they hug and everything, and then shit hits the fan again. I don't even remember.
I don't
why
remember
they got that
exactly
kind
what
of break.
happens. I think the fact that like the fireworks went off and like so much sound has been going on. I think like these fucking.
Maybe it was confused. Just didn't
It's just
really
going
know.
nuts, and like
Yeah.
it's like hunting them. I guess like it knows that they're there.
right.
And I feel like we forgot to mention though that you find out. Don't you find out when she's
Oh, yeah.
on the whenever they're in the corn or whatever that
no, right before I think. Are you talking about her
the
ear
her
thing?
earpiece.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, that was before she found her brother. You remember when she was running through the?
Yeah, I guess we didn't really touch on
Oh,
that, but
yeah.
you're starting to get these glimpses of like the hearing aid that her dad gave her is kind of got this.
It's like a high
It's-
frequency.
A
The
lot of
frequency
people-
It's
fucks
what
with
is
the-
actually going to be like the counter to these creatures.
I was reading online. A lot of people were saying like, how stupid is she that she noticed? But you got to keep in mind she can't hear.
She can't
Like,
hear.
She can't fucking see
That's
what the
what I
monster.
think
has
too.
no
The creature's
idea.
right behind.
Yeah.
That-
Her sense of like this whole world is different than even
Right.
ours watching the
Oh,
movie because
100%,
she's
right.
deaf. She doesn't really
But basically, the
understand.
sound is their weakness,
Right,
And,
and
that
that-
the frequency completely like
Yeah,
fucks
it
them
starts
up.
fucking with them. So basically, then they're in the truck. It was a truck, right? Or was it a
Well,
car?
the
It was a truck,
monsters
yeah.
come and they know that they're coming. So the dad, Lee's like, get in the truck. So they run towards this truck that apparently they had prepared for. They literally have everything prepared in this movie anywhere they go. So they go and get in the truck. And
Because the kid was even practicing in the truck like earlier on in the movie,
Right,
wasn't
right.
he? So yeah,
with the
kinda
break.
Cool. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Now it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, the first encounter with the creature, Lee, I think he takes a swing at him with I don't even remember.
it's like
what
a
the fuck he was
rake or
doing.
something.
A rake.
Oh,
Yeah, he fucking
fuck,
raked him.
yeah.
He raked that creature, but and then obviously he gets attacked, and then
We're gearing
You
up
know.
to something pretty.
He screams so
You
his
know.
kids can get away.
I can't even.
Yeah.
I don't even want to
Yeah.
talk about that
It's
part. It
basically
makes
that
me so
part.
emotional.
That whole
And
point.
John Krasinski dies.
Yeah.
But it's in the
to
worst.
jump right to it.
can't.
Yeah, just to get the worst
No, I mean
part
it was
over with.
okay. It was very emotional because I mean,
It is, it's
like,
hard to
throughout
watch
the
that
whole
part
movie.
because-
There's it's his relationship with his wife. It's with his kids. So and they focus on that a lot. I mean, the movie isn't in any way about the creatures. I mean, the creatures they're complimentary. They're just there. I mean, that's what it is.
Well-
It focuses on the family. It focuses on the relationships, and just the way that scene happened. I could have never imagined this movie be that emotional. Just the whole sign language.
Yeah,
When
I
his
didn't
sign
think it was
language
gonna
is
be
like,
like
that.
"I love you. I've always loved you."
Yeah, as he dies,
and then he
signs.
screams
It's kind of
over
like
just to
him
save his
saying it
kids,
to his
like,
daughter after the
fuck,
son had
man.
told him earlier on, like, you need to tell her that
Right.
you
You
love
Yeah,
her.
see,
like,
you
fuck.
So
see,
he's doing it.
You see him and his daughter struggling with their relationship like throughout the entire movie. So, and he and his wife were literally just saying
Right.
that we need to do whatever we can to protect our kids.
And that's
Right.
the thing.
so
It's a
that's
very
when he
realistic
literally
thing.
does the one thing he
Right.
can do is sacrifice himself for his children. And right before, which, oh my God, I can't even, I just started immediately
Mhm.
Dude,
tearing
I
up
mean, that's a
because
very.
he's
I
yeah.
kind of wish he
signing-
hadn't died.
oh,
For
the way it
sake
happened
of
was
the
perfect.
movie
though.
or
The way it
for-
happened was perfect.
It like it
because,
is,
I mean,
but I don't know. Part of me is like, I kind of wish he didn't die.
Well,
Yeah, of
I
course,
wish
everybody
as like a
loved him.
fan, yeah,
But
like
at the
just
same
kind of
time-
loving his character. I didn't want him to die, but I mean,
the way he sacrificed himself was perfect.
It really
literally
was.
perfect. Yeah, I mean the whole movie kind of sets it up.
He-
only Man of Steel could have done it like that. At least they tried to.
What are you talking about?
Just the whole part.
I'm
where
sorry,
fucking-
Clark could have easily saved fucking Jonathan because I mean,
It's the
oh,
same
the
kind
part
of
with the
thing.
dad. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, what the
Dude.
fuck are you referring to?
No,
Oh.
that's that because honestly, I hate that when this was happening in the movie, that's where my mind went. And so for a
Oh,
sec,
dude,
I didn't
yeah.
start laughing or anything, but I was thinking back to that part, and I was like,
I don't
"This
know.
is so much better."
It's the way they did it was goofy, but I guess I kind of have just accepted it.
Oh, yeah.
Either way,
Over
though,
time.
in this movie, he literally signs to his daughter saying, "I've
Dude,
always loved you.
that
I
part
love
killed
you."
me.
And
And then that yell,
and
that
then
yell he lets out is just like,
yeah, he lets out
it
this
is-
huge
it's
scream.
heartbreaking.
It
Oh
really
my
is,
gosh!
yeah.
And that's the end of it. And his kids like roll down the hill in this
Yeah,
truck.
they hit the
take,
brake
like,
and then
just
they-
like go down, and then there's another one at the point where I thought the movie was basically almost over, and I guess it was, but then there is still more that happens.
Oh,
Because
dude,
basically
yeah.
they get down there and they go back into the house, and I guess the creatures now are fucking,
Yeah, it's actually.
coming.
I guess it's like at some point you think like, oh, the worst is over. Like they can just go and be with their mom and the new
Yeah.
baby, and
We
then
didn't even really talk too. Not that I mean the whole thing too. When like Emily Blunt's character woke up and like she was like fucking flooding in the
Oh,
basement.
right.
Like so she wasn't even done with like her whole
Yeah.
ordeal. She
Like,
went through
she-
more of like basically like tiptoeing around in this like flooded basement with a
Dude, that
creature
part
in
was
there.
Scary. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the fucking
I mean,
water.
really, if
Jesus.
you think about it, her character had the worst luck this entire
Oh,
movie,
100%,
and then her
yeah.
husband dies, and she has
I
to take
know.
care of the kids and a newborn by herself.
Exactly. I mean, dude, yeah, Emily Blunt. I mean,
She
in
is
this
the
movie,
worst
she was,
life in
she was
this
fucking
movie.
amazing.
Mother of the year.
She was seriously
Mother
amazing
of the
in this
Year
movie.
is
and the,
right.
And the whole way she was cast, obviously, John Krasinski is the director, and I think maybe one of you guys told me this, or we were talking about it. Like she pretty much asked to be cast for this
Oh,
role,
Oh, yeah.
which is fucking perfect because their chemistry, man. I mean, it transitions
Oh, for
very
sure.
well on screen.
Right.
You know?
Definitely.
And then from there, yeah, they basically come face to face with the monster, and that's when they figure out, or one of the monsters, and that's when they figure out that the frequency, like,
In the earpiece.
Yeah, that whole earpiece
really
is
hurts him.
actually
And
the
she,
key
and
to
she,
it.
and the daughter sees like all the earpieces that he made, so she sees that obviously he really did love her.
Yeah, that's very
Because he's
powerful
been trying
too.
to do this for like a
God.
long time. And
Dude,
then,
yeah, I mean, I started choking up at that part
Yeah.
too.
Powerful
It
is
was
right.
fucking-
Very powerful.
Emotionally
No, seriously.
powerful.
I did
That's
not,
what
dude.
this movie was.
No way. I didn't expect this movie to be this emotional
Me
because all the
neither.
reviews were saying, "Dude, this movie's
So
fucking
scary, so
horrifying." You know,
scary,
yeah, it
right.
was not.
And I
It
guess
was a
going
thriller.
into it and being people that kind of look at reviews beforehand, we kind of just thought like that's what this was like it's so good because it's so scary. It's like such a good
right? It
horror
wasn't
movie,
really
but
about it being emotional,
yeah,
but
for
it
sure.
was.
If
This
anything-
movie had horror elements to it, but like I think the story was just so much more. than
Right.
I feel
we
like
really
it was
thought.
more scary in a sense of thinking about living in a world like that. is the most terrifying thing. Like you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to try and live
Oh right.
and like not make any mistakes, any sound, and so that concept in general is just like
Right, because it's like
the
no matter how
scariest
good you
thing.
get at it, too, there's always just gonna
And
be
that's
fuck
like you
ups.
make-
There's
you
some-
make-
anything that can happen.
With a
Yeah.
lot of actual horror movies or whatever, I know for me myself, whenever I'm watching one of those movies, I always think, how fucking stupid are these characters? They always do something very, very stupid, or like a stupid mistake, or like you know, you're always wondering why would they do that? They should be a little bit more careful. In this movie, I never really felt that way.
Or anytime you ask that, they answer why they're doing it.
Exactly.
It
Yeah. I
shows
mean,
you.
this movie was very well thought out. The characters were, I mean, you know, they were prepared. That's-
And basically, to pretty much finish like the plot stuff, like they come face to face with the monster, and then she shoots it, right?
Yeah,
once
with the
like
shotgun.
once its like head
yeah.
comes out or whatever. When
Right,
when the
which
sound-
is also really cool to see because it was one of those things where I'm really glad we didn't get too much backstory with the
Exactly.
creatures or even too much of what they actually looked
Yeah.
like. But I mean, we saw what they looked like, but it wasn't like these long shots on it. But
Very-
that whole thing where it's like head is kind of like the armor's coming off of its
Right.
head and it's kind of like fucking freaking out. I thought that looked so
it's
cool.
very Alien, very 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, it looked fucking awesome.
And then basically they figure out that sound is its weakness, and then the two more are coming, and
Dude,
then
Dude,
that's
that-
the other thing when they show
Ooh, that shotgun
Seriously.
cop.
yeah, I love that. But even when they show the two on the screen, like fucking running,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was very fucking
Yeah.
creepy.
The way the
but
movie
it's
ends
like it's
and it
at that
cuts.
point you're not being scared anymore. You're
Right.
getting pumped when you see
It's
those
just
things.
exciting,
Those two
yeah.
creatures
Cool.
running, and then yeah, Emily Blunt just like cocks back the shotgun, and it's like fucking
And that's how
ends
it
the
And
goes.
movie
that's
end.
it. That's
And I
the
love that.
end.
Wait, I was reading another thing. People, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Somebody online was on Reddit was also saying like,
But you're wrong.
I do really love the ending, but after Emily Blunt cocks back the shotgun, she should have been, let's kill these sons of bitches.
Oh
That's
my
stupid.
god.
that's awful.
Horrible. That
Yeah.
person's opinion's wrong. I
I think
don't
this
care.
is the same person that had the whole thing like, let's cut the audio out.
Wow.
45
And the-
minutes
This
in.
man
whole-
seems
and the
like the worst.
The whole movie's silent. Why the fuck would she say that?
You know, I meant to
What
actually
would
put
be
that
like
whole
a-
quote in here. Why didn't I do
funny.
that? Because his whole Reddit comment was like hilarious. I don't think I did it, but let me just double check. put
That
it on
is
the top.
that's so ridiculous though that a movie that has barely any dialogue, you want that to be one of the lines.
I'm glad the
Yeah,
movie.
You
fuck
gotta
that.
be kidding me.
Oh wait,
Like,
if that was the final line, Jesus.
Wait, this is hilarious, dude. This is the same guy. He goes, I'm sorry to whoever this is. He goes,
Let's roast him.
I also had a thought that perhaps people pay a little more for a different experience where people's phones would have been taken away, their shoes have been taken away,
What the
and there
fuck?
would be sand lining in the theater. And people,
Oh
would
my
have, people would have to walk on that and sit down without making any noise. So crunchy food would have been served. Wait, no crunchy food would have been served. And whatever you
mashed
would
potatoes.
and whatever you would get to eat would be served on leaves. I would have paid for that.
Oh
sounds like a sick
my
fuck.
god.
One question: how did the little kid
He
know
sounds
how to
really
line the
into
batteries
it.
in the
Yeah.
toy?
You know what? I kind of respect him. With
I get what
wanting
he's.
to-
I get what he's going
He
for.
wants to have such a great experience.
He wants to have a good experience.
He's like, you know what? Let's go all out. Every movie.
put your socks on and take your shoes off.
It's like I want to go into a theater with like trees, and if I'm going to see Jumanji,
That's
I better
funny as
have like a
fuck.
In a
jungle.
fucking forest.
Yeah, I better be sitting in a
Wow.
forest
That is
to watch
funny
this
as
movie.
fuck.
I know. I was sitting there laughing at work. I was like, "What the fuck?" On my break, of course.
Yeah, because you know.
Oh man. All right, so we score it.
Yeah, let's score it. That's the let's do final thoughts and score it. Like I said, I thought it was really good. I kind of wanted to be scared more, but I understand that's not what the movie's about. So I guess it was more me, like my expectations kind of just.
I blame the internet for
It's
that.
the trailers, it's the expectations, the Rotten Tomatoes score, everything goes into that. But I'd give it like a solid like 8.2 out of 10. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's better than a lot of horror movies. So yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, y'all know I love this movie. I thought it was great, and like I said, I don't love horror movies, so going into it, I just wanted to see it because of how good I thought
And
it
it's
looked.
kind of fun.
It was.
It's a fun movie.
It is. It's a movie that you really kind of like. It's one of those things where I see a lot of movies that are really good, but I'm like, I couldn't watch that again.
It's like a chore
And
to
this
do
is
it.
a movie. I mean, it's short, so that always helps. But this is a movie I could go watch again very easily.
Length is key.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like I said, I thought it was gonna be scarier, but I didn't necessarily want it to be that scary. So that part didn't bum me out. So I mean, I give this movie a 9 out of 10. I thought it was great.
Ooh.
I loved it.
High roller.
Funny thing is, last time we talked about this movie, I think I gave it like an 8.5 or an 8 point something because I don't know. I loved this movie too, but I feel like I just, for some reason, I was like, oh, I'm not going to score it that high. But talking about it again and thinking about it again, I honestly would do like 9.5.
I'd
out of
rewatch
10,
it, that's for sure.
just because I feel like it's such a simple movie and it's so easy to watch and you care so much about each of the characters. I think they do so well with that. And I also super appreciate the fact that John Krasinski literally said, like, I made this as a love
Dude,
story to
yeah.
my kids.
In an interview, that's what he said.
And-
It
What
was
a
fucking-
dude.
And I'm just like,
What a
man,
man.
how can you not support everything this dude does?
I heard he's doing his next kind of project is like a sci-fi, something on Mars is what he's thinking about doing next.
beautiful.
Oh,
Just can't
dude,
wait.
I love
How
it.
beautiful
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah,
But yeah,
let's
so
go.
I feel like honestly, I'd score it higher than I originally thought I would. And
Nice.
great movie.
Great.
What you
Great.
got?
What's the
What you
number?
got, Omar?
She said, I
I
think
did.
number
Oh,
my
one.
bad.
I said between like a 9.5. So like, let's 9.3.
Nice.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick with my rating from last week when we initially.
I stuck with
rated
mine
it.
too.
When we tried to do this. in
Obviously,
full
like I said, I've never really rated a movie at a 10. So I'm not gonna for this movie either. I mean, it was a very simple concept. You know, I loved it. Just everything about it worked. All the actors, man. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing really that I could say I'd complain about with this movie. So I'm gonna go with the 9.5. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good stuff. It's good
So
stuff.
I
We
think,
love this movie.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
Go
can
see it.
tell
It was
very
so
much
good.
that we
Although if
love
you're
it.
listening to this, you hopefully saw it or you just ruined it all for yourself. So
If you're one of those people that wants the
recommend you
movie
see it again.
ruined,
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
go see it again.
I watched
support
it
it.
again, that's for sure.
hell yeah.
So yeah, that's the show.
That's us
We did
wrapping
it.
it up.
That's our first episode.
If you guys hear a lot of
Missed the
rain and
bus.
thunder in the second half of this, we are sorry. I don't know how we're gonna get that out. but
Also, I completely apologize if you keep hearing me cough. I don't know what's happening to me.
she's been sick for like
I'm
4
not
months.
sick.
That
I
time
think
of
it's
the year.
allergies. All I'm saying is I apologize. So, you know,
Okay.
I thought it'd be
Right.
nice to apologize. Never
it's
mind. I
fair.
take it back.
No. You can't take that
You're not
back.
forgiven.
Either
Jesus.
way, okay. I guess we're wrapping this up. This first
Ending.
episode.
Yeah, I mean, we really hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun doing it. The show's gonna evolve as we go. We'll probably get a lot better at it.
We're gonna talk
But
about a
yeah.
lot of different things.
If
It'll be
not,
cool.
I super enjoy doing it. So
Yeah. I
I'm
hope-
fine with
I hope
keeping
people.
to do it.
Yeah, I hope you're
keep-
still listening, and
just
if so, just
keep
keep coming
listening.
back.
Keep
every
on
week.
keeping on. You know.
We appreciate any views or listens or whatever. So
Share with your friends. Tell
Yeah.
them we're great.
for sure.
Missed the bus. Share that with your friends.
That's it. That's the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the show.
I'm blue, I've been deed, I've been died, I've been deed.